Elia was murdered by her own adoptive father, then unexpectedly woke up in her childhood body before the tragedy occurred. Realizing she had turned back time, she resolved to change her fate and take revenge on Byron, the one who had exploited, imprisoned, and ruined her life. Back in the past, Elia re-examined the toxic relationships that had once caused her pain, from Laura to Cloud. While training, she discovered anomalies about the curse Byron placed on her body and secrets within the mansion related to her birth mother. With the memory of her past life, Elia quietly built a plan, determined to be stronger and escape her manipulated fate. Elia also vowed to make up for her past mistakes and find her birth parents. And the journey to set everything back to its rightful place is about to begin. Let us follow this fascinating story with Lisa Manhwa. Elia lay slumped in a pool of blood, wondering to herself, poison, why, Elia, me? Am I Elia? Byron stood smiling, silhouetted against the moonlight. His eyes were cold. Every time I see you, I feel nauseous. Byron's face radiated cruelty, those blue eyes, exactly like your father's. Consider my ending you on the same day as your real father, my final act of kindness. She lay there gasping, barely breathing. He stepped on Elia. The only thing I can forgive you for is this hair that looks like Ophelia's. She opened her eyes wide, listening to Byron's every word. Don't worry, your mother. He turned and walked away. Ophelia will live happily by my side. Suddenly, the door burst open, and Ophelia rushed in, shouting, Elia. The last blurry images she saw were of Byron embracing her mother and walking away. So, that really was my mother. Elia lay helplessly thinking, so, my mother is still alive. But now that I realize everything, what is the point? Suddenly, a dazzling light appeared, dispelling the darkness. The next morning, as sunlight streamed through the window, she was lying on a soft bed, staring wide-eyed at the ceiling. Elia looked around blankly. She slowly sat up, wondering, what is going on? I was definitely dead. Just then, a voice called from outside, are you awake, miss? Laura stood outside the door holding a small basin of water. Hurry up and wash your face. You have to do your morning training before breakfast with the master. Elia, still confused, asked, Laura, then she questioned herself, morning training. She was recalling the past. It ended when I was 16. Because I was about to enter the Duke's family. No, Laura's face already looked strange. Laura, seeing Elia just sitting there dumbfounded, leaned in and asked, why are you looking at me like that? You need to hurry up and wash and get dressed. She nodded slightly, okay. Elia walked over to the mirror, looking at herself, confused, wait, this is. I am so young. She turned her head towards the door and called out, hey, Laura, but Laura had already closed the door and left. Elia continued to sink into thought, what is this, the day I died? She remembered, it was one day before my 18th birthday. Elia remembered her appearance then, at the coming-of-age ceremony at the Vishafen Duke's family, where they were supposed to announce the heir to the Duke's title. She sank into thought, that was a crucial and chaotic time, but I definitely did not have this childish face then, so. Elia gasped in shock, I have gone back in time and returned to my childhood, this is really happening. She seemed to awaken, I know everything already. Now, let the revenge begin. A while later, when they had both reached the edge of the forest, Laura began to gently reprimand, don't dawdle, miss. Don't you like morning training? Elia ran, panting, I am coming. Laura was very strict, are you talking back now? You better be careful before I report this to the master. Your father will be very disappointed in you. Her heart sank slightly. Laura is always like this. In front, Laura continued to remind, are you even listening to me? Elia thought, she always threatens and scolds me. As if she were the real master. Elia was recalling what she had experienced. Before living in the Vishafen Duke's family, I did not realize being treated like this was abnormal, but now I know. Because I am not Byron's real daughter, that is why they treat me so badly. Returning to the present, she smiled gently and replied, yes, I am listening, but in her heart, she thought, how pathetic. Elia stood there silently listening to Laura scold, but her mind was not focused on it. I always tried so hard to be loved by Laura and father. Back then, I constantly watched other people's faces. And always forced myself to smile. At this moment, her face looked very fierce, and she was extremely angry, like a fool. Elia clenched her fist, but not anymore. I won't force myself to smile anymore. She ran as hard as she could, thinking, I will still follow orders, but this sword won't be aimed where he wants it to be. Elia was calculating, it does not matter how I managed to turn back time. What matters is that I seize this opportunity. Her eyes were filled with determination, in this life, I will personally stain that devil, Byron, with blood. Suddenly, Cloud appeared and asked, you are here, miss, did you sleep in? You are late. Seeing him, Elia was reciting the information about Cloud. Cloud, he is the one who taught me during the time I lived under Byron. In her heart, she felt disgust. He is disgusting, deceiving a child and raising her to be an assassin. But on the outside, she bowed her head and apologized, sorry for being late. He was slightly taken aback at this. But Cloud quickly regained his composure. I heard you will be having a meal with the master. It is not often you get this chance, remember to eat your fill and come back. Elia looked at his back and thought, that is right, Cloud is always like that, he always seems hesitant in front of me. Cloud suddenly spoke up, from today, we will start training with weapons. Hearing this, she was a little surprised. Elia looked at her hands in confusion, training with weapons, starting now. She stared at her hands, wondering, but my hands do not have any wounds yet. Usually, my hands would be injured from making mistakes during weapons training. Elia tried moving her fingers, so. She seemed to realize something, it is the summer before I turned 13, and I will be going to the Dukes in 4 years. He began to instruct, now, we will start with a warm-up. Just run around like always. Elia replied, okay, I know, and then sank into her thoughts, now I know what time it is, I just need to figure out how strong I am right now. She ran as fast as she could through the forest. Elia's face was full of life. In a flash, she had climbed a tree. Elia quickly swung onto a high branch. She stood firmly on the branch, looking down at the entire mansion. Elia was secretly pleased, thank goodness, there are a few techniques that my body is so familiar with that I do not have any trouble moving. Her eyes were full of joy, if I train hard, I might be even stronger than before. Maybe I can get to the Duke's mansion earlier than 4 years. But Elia's smile suddenly froze. She pondered, that is right, I can't go now. Elia remembered an important thing, Byron forced a curse onto my body. She remembered, the curse was not lifted until I got to the Duke's mansion. I do not know exactly what the curse is. A ghostly face appeared, and how it is activated. I can only live in fear, worrying that if I anger Byron, I will die. Elia found a comfortable sitting position on the tree, thinking about it, it is too strange. How could he remove the chain before I was free? Her eyebrows furrowed slightly, besides, there are many other suspicious points. Elia remembered his appearance, Byron, his true identity. A series of events from the past that she could not understand poured in, the endless flow of money from unknown sources, a surveillance plan on a massive scale. The relationship between him and my real father, Roderick. Then Elia remembered someone, the meaning of the things he desperately wanted to reclaim, my mother, and a position that he said was stolen from him. Maybe that is his real purpose. She sat on the tree dazed, how can I know this, I can't resist with the current situation. Suddenly, Elia stood up abruptly. She stared at a place in the mansion, wait, that is where my room is. Elia thought in panic, what is going on, my room does not look like that, but clearly on that floor, besides my room, there is no other door. She gradually regained her composure, if I am not mistaken, that is the secret room. A joyful expression was evident on Elia's face, that is it. She quickly jumped to the ground, if I find out information there, things will be easier. Maybe I will find Byron's plan and news from the outside. Elia landed quickly and ran off, I will act tonight. She stepped into a puddle. Elia stopped abruptly and looked back at it, a puddle. Suddenly she saw something. The reflection of Elia's face appeared from the puddle. She saw the image of Roderick in it. Elia bent down to look closer, it is really similar, but why did not I recognize my father? She smiled, I will be back. Elia walked through the forest, no matter how difficult or dangerous it may be in the future, I have to do it. She walked to Cloud, and Elia reunited with him and Laura. She was determined, I will atone for the mistakes I have made. And one day, I will use the most sincere words. Byron's face appeared in the room. Elia whispered to herself, to send to my real parents. She wore a princess dress, I smiled and greeted, did you sleep well, father? He acted gently and reached out his hand, yes, my daughter, come here. A determination had been set by Elia, I will go there and say that I love you, mom and dad. In the dark room, Byron spoke, Laura said that you woke up late. He asked caringly, so you did not get much training this morning. Why, what is wrong? Byron's hand was placed on her head, but not in a loving pat, but as if wanting to crush Elia's head. She knelt at his feet, I am sorry, father, because I had a nightmare. He was curious, a nightmare, what nightmare? Elia reached out and tightly gripped the hem of Byron's pants, it was so scary. Her hands gripped his pants, while her head was forced down by Byron. Finally, Elia spoke, a dream where I was abandoned by father because I was no longer valuable. Hearing this, his hand gradually cupped on her head. That hand gradually moved towards Elia's eyes, my daughter. He spoke, forget those dreams. There is no way I would abandon you. You are my only hope. She looked up and asked, then will you forgive me, father? Her face was half covered by that hand. Byron replied coldly, I hope you won't be like that again next time. He continued, you must wake up on time and not be lazy in training. Byron stared at Elia, the only one who can put an end to this feud of mine, it is only you. He suddenly pushed her head away, let us have a meal now. Ignoring Elia's fall, Byron said without concern, you have to eat a lot to get stronger. Laura brought the food and placed it on the table. He said with annoyance, more meat again, I am sick of it. She sat pitifully on the ground, but Elia's eyes flashed as she looked at them. In the evening, Laura brushed Elia's hair and said, the master is so affectionate. Laura continued to talk, I did not expect him to forgive you so easily. I heard that the ice cream was specially brought back from afar. Did you see, miss, how much he loves and dotes on you? Laura continued to manipulate her, so in the future, you must try hard to meet the master's expectations. She replied coldly, I know. Unexpectedly, Laura grabbed Elia's hair and pulled it back hard, all day long, you have been answering slowly and acting rudely. Do you have any complaints about me? She sat on the bed, clenching her fists, constantly reminding herself, I have to endure. Elia spoke softly, because I am just tired. Then she reassured herself. If I act according to my own will now, I won't be able to take revenge. She explained, because this is the first time I have trained with weapons. Laura turned and left, I will only forgive you this time. Before leaving the room, Laura turned back and reminded, go to sleep now. Don't sleep in tomorrow. Elia sighed uncomfortably. She slowly got out of bed, sooner or later, I will make you pay the price. What I have to do now? Elia groped her way in the darkness, this way. She stared at it, it looks like just a normal wall. Where should I start checking? Elia searched very carefully, since this is a secret passage, it must be hidden very well. Suddenly, she discovered something. Elia's hand gently touched the stone on the wall, the gap between the stones. You can fit things in places like this. If I search carefully, there might be something. She discovered something again, oh my. A small detail on the wall that does not match. Oh my, is it a construction error, or is it? Elia hurriedly pulled over a chair and climbed up, there is something. She struggled to tiptoe and reach out, I can touch it. Finally, not disappointing Elia's expectations, her finger touched a switch. Elia was very excited, okay, something is stuck in my finger. It is small, but I can still hear the machine moving. Suddenly, a door opened, causing her to lose her balance and almost fall. Fortunately, Elia managed to grab the chair in time, phew, that was close. It is open. The secret passage. But I can't see anything. It is good to have found it quickly by luck. She slowly walked in, but if I bring a light, I might be discovered. Elia took a breath, well, I will just go in. She carefully walked down each step, where will it lead? On Byron's side of the mansion, Cloud was reporting, Lord, there is something that makes me uneasy. He wondered, he straightened his back and replied, Miss, the story is like this. Cloud recounted the events of this morning. Today was the first weapons training session, but her abilities were surprisingly outstanding, to the point where I could not believe it was the first time. A 12-year-old girl had held a sword. Hearing this, Byron scoffed, she is Roderick's daughter, after all. She has the noble blood of a master swordsman in her. He smiled, truly admirable. Both father and daughter are blessed with outstanding talent. But Byron's eyes immediately became gloomy. He said, leave it be. She has to quickly become proficient and stab her father in the back. Cloud obeyed, yes. Byron asked again, any other reports? He replied, no. He replied, okay, you can go down. I need to rest too. Cloud bowed, yes, Lord. The bright moonlight shone warm rays through the glass window, seeping into the room. Suddenly, a dark shadow appeared outside the window. A bare foot stepped up without any protection. It was Elia. She flung open the window and stepped in, what talent? She was distraught, even though she is the daughter of a master swordsman, she has no talent at all. Those pale hands unconsciously clenched tightly, in the past life, she had countless wounds, because she never progressed, to the point where she had to beg Byron every time. It was all the result of bloody efforts and dedication to Byron. Elia walked softly into the room, that is enough. There is no benefit to dwelling on those thoughts. She regained her spirits, now I have to focus on finding clues. The place with the most information is. Elia immediately thought of one place, Byron's desk. She walked to his desk. Picking up a letter, Elia began to read to herself, what kind of letters are piled up like this? I thought he was living in hiding, so he did not contact anyone outside. A line appeared before her eyes, I have carefully considered your proposal. Elia slowly read the letter, I also want to see that arrogant young lion, but how can we underestimate the wolf guarding that lion? She was confused, lion, wolf. What does that mean? Then Elia continued to read, but did not you say that you failed in hunting the lion before, so I will pretend I did not see your proposal. The letter continued, "It seems you are old, so your memories are no longer clear. Didn't we go hunting lions together before? Don't forget that the evidence from that year is still in my hands. I know what you are worried about, but do not worry. The hunting dog I raised is quite useful, so the wolf will be dealt with soon." Reading this, Elia suddenly thought, the hunting dog is probably me, so the wolf is father. She reasoned in shock, was father's death just a stepping stone to kill someone else? Elia clutched the letter tightly, her mind filled with thoughts. Byron, what exactly did you do? Letters between nobles often carry many hidden meanings. A memory flashed in Elia's mind. For example, when they talk about a family, they will use an animal symbol. The reason is to avoid conflict if the young lady is exposed. The teacher continued to lecture. The animals that are often used are small animals such as deer and weasels, but Elia at that time was very sleepy, thinking, why do I have to take the air class? At that time she thought, anyway, I will be leaving this duke's family soon. I am busy checking the assassination plan. On the podium, the teacher was still devoting all his heart to teaching. Powerful animals such as wolves or lions will symbolize powerful families, for example, Vishafen. Elia nodded, thinking, I just need to pretend to be listening. Why listen, it is not like I will ever use it. The teacher's voice was still ringing out, and the animal that refers to the royal family. Returning to the present, she walked down each step dejectedly, blaming herself, I should not have done that, I should have paid more attention to listening. Elia sighed painfully, I tried to recall my memories, but I still can't remember what the lion symbolizes. Mom, Dad, I am really sorry. She said to herself, I have to rest for a moment. But suddenly Elia heard a voice, sister-in-law, Elia was a little surprised when she heard the voice, this place is also connected to the servants' area. The voice was still ringing out, I do not know if I should continue to deceive a child. She looked inside through a gap, Laura was shouting loudly, why do you keep saying that, have you forgotten what that kid's father did? Elia looked at the figure sitting in the corner, she quickly recognized the person, that is, Capella, the one who took care of me for a short time. She also spoke. Don't you want revenge? Your husband, my brother, was killed. Cloud hesitated a little, I know, but at that time. She interrupted, since father died, our family has been running away like we are being haunted. I was only 8 years old then. He retorted, Laura, you can't even remember exactly what happened to your father. Laura snapped, are you treating me like a child now? Cloud hesitated, Capella crossed her arms, if the master's plan fails, we will forever be considered criminals. I do not want my daughter to carry that stain for the rest of her life. If you also love your niece, you must think the same way as I do. She said coldly, the Yorga family cannot be considered criminals. Elia, who heard everything outside, was a little surprised, all 3 of them are family, unbelievable, I did not know anything in the last life. Inside the room, Laura began to sob, Father, he should be recognized as a knight who died proudly protecting his master. If that could happen, then even if I have to serve the daughter of the enemy, I can do it. He hurriedly stepped forward and put his hand on her shoulder to comfort her. Cloud comforted, Laura, I am sorry. Don't cry. I misspoke. Elia did not listen anymore. She lowered her eyes and turned to leave. Suddenly, he stopped. Laura was stunned by the expression and asked, Uncle Cloud, alert mode was activated, wait, did not you hear any noise just now? Capella turned around and said, the magical letter carrying L has arrived. You are as good as ever, sensing it so quickly. He hesitated, I will go check. Saying that, Cloud walked away, thinking, this sound. Is it just my mood? He slowly opened the window. That is right, who would eavesdrop in this mansion? Cloud affirmed, only birds that can't fly would do that. The next morning, sparkling rays of sunlight competed to shine into the room. Elia tossed and turned in bed. I can't sleep. She thought about what she had witnessed last night. From Capella's words, have you forgotten what that child's father did? My husband, your brother, was killed. To Laura's words, since father died, our family has been running like we are being chased by ghosts. I was only 8 years old back then. Elia's head was filled with countless thoughts. How much of what they said is true, Roderick? Did my father kill someone, if that is really the case? She did not want to believe it. Then is Byron, the enemy, the righteous one, Suddenly, a loud shout interrupted Elia's thoughts. This has never happened before. Laura opened the door and entered. Young miss, you are awake. Elia blankly looked at Laura, who was slightly avoiding her gaze. Laura brought in a plate of food. It seems the master is not in a good mood today, so please eat alone. Elia wondered, why, what is wrong? Laura was a little arrogant. Let us see. Maybe the young miss did something wrong. Hearing that, Elia was startled and worried. Could it be that I was discovered in the study? Laura looked around and rambled on. Oh my, oh my. What is this room? Is it any different from a pigsty? Elia was still lost in her thoughts. It can't be, if it was. Laura's attitude would be colder. Laura's voice continued, hurry up and clean up. But Elia retorted, that is your job. Laura asked in surprise, what? Then Elia continued to ponder. Think, what exactly is it? According to my memory, nothing special happened. Suddenly, Elia saw Laura's angry face and froze. As expected, Laura shouted, hurry up and go train. Elia, who had changed into training clothes, stood in the middle of the forest. I was too careless. I was so preoccupied with thinking that I misspoke. She thought dejectedly, I can't expect anything from Laura, but I must find out what that matter is. Elia thought of someone. Indeed, I should find out from Cloud. At this time, he was in a room reading a letter. Looking at the date written in the letter, it was probably from 10 days ago. Cloud continued, she suddenly collapsed and has been in a coma ever since. Byron angrily swept the stack of books off the table. He growled, she has never been sick once before. Ophelia has always been radiant and beautiful. He angrily stood up. So Ophelia is sick now. Why is this news only arriving now? He replied, it seems the messenger in the Duke's mansion was acting quite hastily. Byron immediately ordered, prepare the carriage immediately. He trembled, Ophelia is sick, and I can't see her even once, it has come to this. No matter how Roderick reacts, even if I have to cut off my left arm. Unexpectedly, Byron suddenly said, no need for the carriage. He said to himself, there is no way I will willingly walk into his trap. That is right, of course. Cloud stood aside listening to instructions. Yes. Byron continued, instead. He put on his coat while saying, I will change the plan. Byron had just thought of a scheme. Now is not the time for me to be so leisurely. Ophelia must be eager to see me. Right after this move, I will begin the hunt. He was a little puzzled. Yes, but we have not received permission or cooperation from the others yet. A cruel glint flashed in his eyes. To win over those cowardly old men, we need to do more. Byron continued, at most, it is just an unweaned lion. What is so difficult about killing one as an example? We must show the power we possess. Cloud was hesitant because of that cruelty. But sir. Seeing that, he spoke encouragingly, what is it? What are you questioning? Does your knightly spirit say you can't kill children, or? Byron coldly asked, do you feel guilty towards that little Elia? He stepped forward and grabbed his collar. Byron continued to corner Cloud. That hair that looks like Ophelia's. It is very beautiful, is not it? He said, if we want everything, we have to use every means. If we keep hesitating, Byron concluded, someone unrelated will steal the position next to me. At this moment, a gust of wind blew past Elia, making her feel a little dazed. Outside the mansion, a guard waved his hand. Sir, the wind is quite strong. Come here quickly. A pristine figure passed by. Winfred brightly replied, yeah, I am coming. Elsewhere, Cloud sat fearfully in a corner, his head filled with Byron's words from before. You must remember, criminals have their own way. On this side, Winfred's father was happily spreading his arms. Ah, my son. He excitedly hugged him. What am I supposed to do with this longing after you leave? I can't live without you, you. Have you checked all the luggage? The guard in the distance stood up straight. And replied, yes. Winfred quickly reassured him, don't worry, father. This trip is only for a month. Winfred's father put on a tearful face. I can't bear it, a whole month. He said confidently, never mind that, but I am more worried about the situation with Master. He realized who Winfred was talking about. If you mean Vishafen. There was news this morning that the madam has woken up. Hearing his father say that, Winfred breathed a sigh of relief. That is good. I felt very guilty for not being able to visit her. He comforted him, because the cause of this disease is unknown. They are afraid of infecting others. There is no choice. But have not people sent comfort gifts to them? Winfred's father saw him off to the carriage. The Vishafens must be very grateful. So just go and come back safely. Winfred leaned out. I will be back soon. After the carriage left, he spoke, continue the report. A butler respectfully said, she has woken up, but her physical condition is not very good. Anyway. Winfred's father waved his hand. You do not need to say it. I know. He turned around and said to the servants, send a good doctor to the Duke, and remember to tell them that if anything happens, they must report it immediately. This matter could turn the empire upside down, so we can't stand by and watch. The maids obeyed. I understand, yes. A maid turned around and said remorsefully, I should have told the young master just now. If he finds out about this after he returns, he will probably be very sad. Winfred's father calmly said, this issue is still unclear. He is on his way to do something important. Why bother him with this? He said in a doting tone, my son is still very young, right now. He is at the age where he looks at hope instead of reality. On Elia's side, she was tossing and turning in bed. Is there really no hope? Elia thought back to this morning. Cloud is more rigid than I thought. No matter how much I try to persuade him, he won't budge. Recalling her situation this morning, she cried inwardly, he was the one who was late, but he increased the intensity of the training. Is this punishment? Elia remembered Cloud's words, moreover, this is the master's order. Starting tomorrow, you will learn how to handle poison. She thrashed on the bed. What exactly is going on? I was not supposed to learn about poison for several years. Unlike my previous life, it should only be slightly different. But this is too different. Burying her face in the pillow, Elia speculated, is it because of me that the future has changed? I really do not know what situation is unfolding, and there is nothing to reassure me. She felt sad in her heart. Even though I have made up my mind, I still feel uneasy. I wish someone was here at times like these. The images of Elia's parents, Roderick and Ophelia, appeared, gently calling her name, Elia. She clutched the pillow tightly. I wish someone would comfort me. Elia was helpless. I am too weak. She began to feel weak. Because I experienced that tragedy and came back, every memory and breath of warmth became clearer. I miss them so much. Elia gradually fell asleep with distant wishes. I want to return to that place as soon as possible, but that future is too far away. A magnificent scene appeared. Primus, a city located at the far west, developed around a towering mountain range, and the name originated from the founding emperor. The image of the majestic emperor appeared. Primus Arphobart Pels, he left behind a last testament after building the great Pels Empire. He said, I will become the guardian deity of this empire. Then he disappeared behind the treacherous mountains in the west, and none of his descendants found his body. People at the time discussed it heatedly. How could it be? That day he really became a god. Since then, a tradition has been passed down in the Pels royal family, that the heir to the throne must find Primus before the coronation. Only when they have personally met the guardian deity of the empire and performed the ceremony, will that person be recognized as the true descendant of Pels. And so a temple was built in Primus to worship him. The teacher was standing above lecturing. Because that place is associated with such a sacred legend, commercial activity has not developed strongly, because everyone values the traditions there. Elia sat dazedly on the bed. I remember hearing that in a class, but... She got up and walked closer to the map on the wall. Why did Byron go there? Elia calculated in her mind. Time has passed in a flash. 3 days have passed since I fell asleep from exhaustion. Now I have returned to Byron's room to see the situation. She searched everything. Could it be related to the lion hunt? Besides this, I can't find any clues. Elia realized that it seems the letters of exchange have been burned. She regretted it. Next time, I have to come earlier. Elia rested her chin and thought. But it seems like I have been outside like this before. She recalled that at that time, I occasionally went out with Byron, but usually it was just to move houses. Each time, I was wrapped up tightly and stuffed into the carriage. While outside he was ordering, hurry up. Elia recalled another special time, but there was one time I went out, they even made me drink magic disguising medicine. Normally, they said it was too expensive to give me. Then they left me at an inn. After she woke up, she sat on the bed bewildered. Why did they bring me here? Because I did not know what was happening, I could only sit and wait. Returning to reality, Elia thought, is he worried that I will run away if he is not there? Anyway, if they are going to take me, that is even better. She was still thinking secretly, as long as I can shake off Laura, I can go outside. Suddenly there was a voice. Cloud, are you outside? Cloud replied, did you call me, sir? Elia thought in fear, next to it is Byron's bedroom. Because this is the old residence, the soundproofing is not very good. The voice ordered, now, bring Elia here immediately. I must see that child. She heard her name and wondered, why all of a sudden? The voice continued, Ophelia's face keeps appearing in my head. I have to see that brilliant silver hair to be able to sleep. Elia panicked. No, this is bad. He replied, I understand. I will go now. She ran with all her might towards the secret tunnel. I have to go back immediately. If I am discovered, I am dead. In the servants' quarters, Capella was sleeping soundly and groggily woke up because of the noise. She vaguely sat up and looked towards the source of the sound. Cloud appeared holding a small lamp. Sister-in-law, I will take the key. Seeing that it was Cloud, Capella lay down and continued to sleep peacefully. At night, the mansion was quiet, with only the light from the moon shining in. Fortunately for Elia, she managed to lie on the bed in time. Almost. Elia lay on the bed catching her breath. He has never looked for me so late at night. Outside the door, Cloud spoke, "Young miss, if you are resting, I apologize for the intrusion, but Byron can't wait any longer." "Alright, I will go in directly." Hearing that, she was startled. "He is coming directly." Elia lay with her back to the door, her heart in turmoil. What should I do? Should I pretend to be asleep? Countless calculations flashed through her mind. Or should I pretend to have just woken up? How did I do it before? My beloved father is coming to visit. Should I be surprised or happy? Because I think this is a beautiful dream. At this moment, the door opened, and his shadow fell on Elia. Looking at Byron at this moment like a madman, constantly calling her name, Ophelia, while her face was green. Elia rolled her eyes trying to look behind her. His hand was about to touch her. Elia was so scared that she covered her mouth tightly, afraid that she would make a sound at the wrong time. Finally, Byron placed his hand on her. But his expression turned cold. At this moment, Elia sat up with a frightened face. She stammered, "Father. Father. When did you come? Did you come to see me?" But Byron did not answer that question, and instead asked coldly, "Cloud, who did I tell you to bring?" He replied, "You told me to bring the young miss." He looked at Elia. "That is right, this child." Byron repeated, "Not Ophelia, not her." She sat silently on the bed. He said disappointedly, "It is meaningless to wake it up." Then Byron turned and left, leaving Elia with a cold sentence, "Go back to sleep." She smiled and replied, "Yes, father, good night." They left, and darkness enveloped the room again. Elia sat on the bed in fear. Could it be that he discovered I was acting? She worried, what should I do? The room opened, a quiet scene with scattered items. In the room filled with books and tools, Elia was diligently working. She was concocting. A call rang out, "Young miss." It was Cloud. He worriedly reached out to stop Elia. Cloud spoke, "What are you thinking? Handling poison is very dangerous, you need to concentrate." Her face momentarily turned pale. Elia hesitated, I am sorry." She stared at him, thinking, "I can't concentrate. I am only concerned about whether I was discovered last night." It seemed that Cloud had not changed at all. Cloud gently turned his head to look at Elia. Seeing that, she quickly avoided his gaze. He spoke, "Yesterday, you were pretending, right?" Elia's face darkened in horror. Cloud continued, "Because of the alcohol, the master does not remember anything today." She was silent, not knowing what to say, her body stiff, her hands unconsciously clutching her clothes. Suddenly, he spoke, gently reminding her, startling Elia, "You should be more careful next time. If he still remembers, he is not the type to understand you. I know you are very sad." She felt surprised in her heart, sad, that matter, is it okay to say it out loud? Cloud comforted, "Recently, you have been eating alone and training very hard, so it is understandable that you are sad." Elia was at a loss in her heart. Could it be that now? She imagined her appearance through his words while speculating, "Cloud thinks my attitude yesterday was just childish sulking." Elia did not explain anything further. "I am very grateful for you saying that." However, there was still something weighing on her mind. "If you misunderstand, I am very grateful, but this feeling." Then Elia changed the subject. "What is wrong with my father lately? Did I do something wrong?" Cloud replied, "It is not because of the young miss." She was still curious. "So, then, is it because of someone named Ophelia?" Hearing that, his face suddenly turned fearful. Elia remembered that last night, Byron himself had uttered her mother's name, so this was an opportunity for her to ask directly. Cloud was stunned on the spot. She waited for a response from him. "Give me a useful answer." Cloud spoke, "Yes." He clarified, "Everything is because of that person. Whether the young miss is here, or whether the master's eyes still have not faced reality." Cloud asked, "Can you open your mouth a little?" Elia did not understand. She looked up at him with suspicion. Why?" Only to see his hand unexpectedly put a pink pill into Elia's mouth. She held the pill in her mouth, a sweet and happy feeling like flowers spread out. Elia felt it. "This flavor. It is strawberry candy." Cloud warmly instructed her, "This is a secret." He gently touched Elia's face. "Today's lesson ends here. We are traveling far tomorrow, so it is good to conserve your energy." Cloud instructed, "When you calm down and finish eating, leave." She remained motionless, unable to speak. He turned to leave, then Elia spoke, "Cloud, are you pitying me?" Cloud paused. "The master also asked me that before, so I thought about it very carefully, and it is definitely not like that." He left, leaving her with a lot of questions. What does it ultimately mean? What is his true heart? Elia was silent. That candy is also very complicated. She also noticed that inside it contained a sweetness mixed with bitterness. Scene changes to Elia's appointed day. Time goes by again and it is the day for her to go out. Everyone is busy preparing for this trip, the servant announced to the masters in the car. We will depart after all the luggage is loaded, one person in the car replied, okay. Elia exclaimed, thankfully Byron took me along this time too. The maid in the brown dress who was traveling with her gave her a bottle of medicine. Please drink this, young lady. Elia was surprised, huh? She felt uncomfortable in her heart. I really hate drinking magic disguise medicine, but there is no way around it. Even so, I have to endure it and drink it all. Then Elia radiated a golden light and her whole body changed quickly. Elia was annoyed. It is not delicious at all. The maid reminded her, this medicine is only effective for one day, so you have to drink it every day, and when the magic is gone you can't look outside. Elia was apprehensive. She thought happily, a perfect preparation. Elia had planned and hidden it from before. Fortunately Cloud went out before that, otherwise it would be very difficult to create sleeping pills. Cutting off Laura seems to be going smoothly. Then she was sad again, but can I hinder Byron's plan? Elia was sure, because I could not find the documents. I do not know exactly what the plan is, but I can still guess. At the same time, the carriage she was sitting in was still moving quickly towards the destination. Elia calculated, Byron does not have many subordinates. Besides the servants, there are only 30 private soldiers, so when he needs more people, he will probably use money to hire mercenaries. She imagined and predicted that, but this time he did not bring much money, and Cloud was the only one who brought her to the hideout. Elia observed, if there is trouble, only Cloud will probably take action, because he is the strongest person in this group. She looked out the car window, if I keep following it, something will definitely come out. Cloud sensed it, so he looked over and caught Elia's gaze. He raised his head to express it affectionately, making her startled. Seeing that, Elia turned her head away shyly. In an instant, the convoy arrived at a very bustling place. In the distance was a tall and majestic castle, and behind the castle was a majestic mountain covered with white snow. She leaned close to the window glass and admired everything in awe. Elia thought, but it seems like I have never looked at the scenery outside before. Cloud glanced at her and smiled. Suddenly a voice ordered, hey, stop. It was the voice of the guards of this castle. I have to check. Please state your identity and purpose for coming here. He spoke. Count Munsday, the countess and 2 daughters, came here for tourism. The blonde guard immediately suggested, please show me your identity documents. And told the remaining soldier, you check the carriage. The 2 soldiers checked while questioning, how long will everyone stay? Cloud replied, at most a week. The blonde soldier was suspicious. He calmly replied, not yet, this is the first time I have been here. Cloud chose the most believable words, it must be your feeling, but my face is popular. In the meantime, the remaining soldier also checked everyone in the car. Byron looked calmly at the soldier with his eyes and gentle smile. The brown-haired soldier requested, then please open the luggage compartment for me. Elia saw and wondered in her heart, the inspection is so careful, is this place always like this? After the inspection, the blonde soldier signaled, there is nothing suspicious, okay, let it pass. He did not forget to say politely, everyone has worked hard. The brown-haired soldier suspected, do you know him? The blonde soldier hesitated, well, that face is not popular, but I can't remember who it is. The convoy entered the city. The discussion of the 2 guards still echoed, is it on the wanted list? The other person denied, there is no way they would put their heads in the net themselves. There are many soldiers here. Night fell, the whole city was shrouded in darkness, only the light from the moon shone through. A person in a cloak secretly opened the door and went out. It was Cloud. He looked up at the window that was still lit. Cloud planned, the young lady has Laura guarding her, the master has sister-in-law next to him, so there should be nothing wrong. I will handle it quickly and come back later. He just looked away when something suddenly happened to Laura. She had been drugged and fell on the spot. That person left the bottle of medicine and left. Scene change, late at night, a girl is standing on the top of a high building looking down. It is Elia, she followed, that is right, hurry up and go, Cloud. Elia's whole body radiated golden spots of light again. She waited, only in this way can I dig out Byron's ridiculous ambition. Cloud rushed through the dark night. Elia also quickly chased after him. She was curious, where exactly is he going? This direction. Suddenly an unexpected situation attracted Elia. There was a flash of light below. From the light appeared a person wearing a white robe. She questioned, where did this child who suddenly appeared come from, using translocation magic? Cloud also stopped and hid behind the wall and took out a knife. His actions made Elia suspicious. If using such advanced magic, he seems to be rich, is he aiming at him? She remembered, but it was clearly written inside that it was a young lion. This is not young, but too small. Elia discovered, moved. She stopped, her face a little surprised. The person in the white cloak was approaching the dark corner. Elia realized, that side is a rare alleyway. She watched every move, it was too dangerous. Suddenly, Elia bolted. She jumped down towards the person in the white robe, who stopped and looked up upon hearing the commotion. The person in the white robe was Winfred, who looked up in a daze. Golden light enveloped Winfred. Elia reached out her hand towards him, and at the same time, her disguise magic disappeared. Only then did Cloud notice something strange. He rushed out hastily. But before Cloud was an empty, silent space without a single soul. He was stunned in place, gone. Cloud continued to search in disbelief. In that corner, Winfred was struggling. He had been suddenly pulled in by Elia, who whispered, "Shhh, be quiet." Elia covered Winfred's mouth and reminded him, "The assassin is still nearby." He gradually stopped resisting and looked at her. Seeing this, Elia whispered, "You will be quiet, right?" She slowly let go. His bewildered expression made Elia a little flustered, unsure where to begin explaining. Winfred's eyes sparkled with admiration. "What are you? Did you just fall from the sky? Could it be? Are you an angel?" Hearing his string of questions left Elia momentarily speechless. In the quiet scene of the city, her voice rang out, "What are you talking about?" Scene change. At this time the city was bustling, everyone was frantically searching for someone. Split up and look for him, he can't have gone far. From now on the soldiers must be on high alert. The soldiers and civilians all followed the loud call, requesting the cooperation of the people. If there are any suspicious individuals, they must be arrested immediately. The commanding tone was Dexon's. He said clearly, "I, Alexia Dexon, will take full responsibility." A soldier reported, "Captain, I found traces of teleportation magic." Dexon reminded, "Then I will go now, everyone be careful." Elia and Winfred sat on the roof observing. Seeing the situation she was a little worried. Things have become complicated, I was planning to return quietly." Elia gently brushed back her hair that was being blown by the night wind and said softly, "I am really sorry, I actually wanted to take you away right away, but if others see us it will be troublesome." Winfred also unconsciously raised his hand to shield his face from the cold wind. He reassured her, "It is okay, you do not need to worry, it is my responsibility for going out without permission." Then Winfred hesitated, "But..." He asked Elia, "Are you hurt anywhere?" making her momentarily stunned. Elia suddenly noticed the clothes she was wearing and started to panic. Because I ran away in a hurry, my clothes are all messed up, what should I do? If I go back looking like this I am done for." Winfred immediately rummaged through his clothes. "Wait for me a moment." Only to see him take out and show off a scroll, Tada. Winfred pointed and instructed as he performed, This is a clothes cleaning magic scroll, if you tear this while chanting the spell." As soon as she finished, her whole body was covered in flowers and butterflies, and her clothes became clean from then on. He smiled, "How is it? Is it cleaner now?" Elia worried, "It must be expensive, right?" Winfred took off his cloak, spread it out and said, "Sit here, it won't get dirty." She replied, "You do not need to go this far." He was smug. "What are you talking about? Caring for a lady is a gentleman's quality. I hope my kindness won't be rejected." Elia felt confused hearing that. Winfred offered, "Because there is still quite a bit of time before going back, I will chat with you for a while." She looked at the cloak he spread out for her and hesitated a little. Then Elia decided to sit down. "You are still young but you know a lot, huh?" Winfred retorted, "What, you are young too? You are talking like I am already an adult." He asked, "How old are you?" She replied, 10, "Oh no, 12. Winfred was immediately surprised. "What, I am 2 years older than you, but how are you so strong?" Elia hesitated. He praised again, landing as lightly as a cat, "And strong, you are amazing." She could not believe it. "I look amazing." Winfred was also straightforward with Elia. "You are also beautiful, really," making her blush and turn away. "Oh." Elia thought to herself, "He says such embarrassing things without being embarrassed. How long has it been since I had such a relaxed conversation?" She was cautious. "I am the one who should be thanking you, you helped me clean my clothes." He was silent and pensive again. Then Winfred said sincerely, "I am the one who should be thanking you, you are my lifesaver," making Elia blank. He suddenly moved closer to her. "At least smile at me, you have to accept other people's thanks." Winfred's hand accidentally touched Elia's hand. That action made both of them stunned and confused, looking at each other. He quickly backed away and was flustered. Sorry, I got too close," and she was blushing with embarrassment. Elia shyly bowed her head and told herself, "I can't look him in the face, he exudes a light that is too pure." Winfred held out a glittering crystal-like pin, attracting her attention. He expressed, "Do you want this, to see it as proof that you are my benefactor?" Winfred placed it in Elia's hand. "This is a magic pin, it suits you very well." She was still hesitant. He begged, "Come on, do not be so polite, just accept it." Then Winfred introduced, "But what is your name?" "I am Winfred Pels." Elia held the pin in her hand and muttered, "I accepted it." Hearing his name made her jump. Pels. Elia realized, Pels is the name of this empire. She opened her eyes wide in surprise, then. Winfred politely, Winfred Ulysses Pels, as the crown prince of the Pels Empire, I want to greet you. The lion symbol of the Pels Empire appeared. What happened left Elia still in shock. Purple light flared before her still dazed eyes. In Elia's mind at this time only one thing echoed, lion. Scene change, Cloud was still searching for Winfred in the dark. He was anxious, where did he disappear to? Cloud tried to think back, there was no light showing the use of magic. Suddenly he noticed something approaching. It was some soldiers also on duty, nothing on road number 3, I wonder where the crown prince has gone. They discussed with each other, is there any side we have not searched yet, or should we go back to the temple first? Cloud managed to hide in a corner, the 2 soldiers also left when they found nothing. He worried, the soldiers are increasing non-stop, I must quickly find and deal with the crown prince. Cloud was about to take action when Dexon pointed his sword from behind at some point, stop. He said sternly, this area is under control by a special order from the royal guard. Dexon questioned, what is your business passing through this place? Cloud's eyes became alert. Seeing that he was still silent, he said in a low voice, state your purpose and identity clearly. Dexon waited for a defense from Cloud, although in a weak position he did not utter a word. Only to see Cloud blow Dexon away. He drew his sword and counterattacked. He was not inferior, being blown away like that, but quickly regained his composure and swung his sword. Purple lightning flashed. Dexon parried Cloud's attack. The 2 rushed at each other like 2 powerful lightning bolts. He put all his strength into defeating him. A loud bang, only to see a light flash in the fight. Then fly up into the sky. The fight ended immediately, the atmosphere was extremely tense. Dexon smirked and ridiculed, it has been a while, but your swordsmanship has become too vile. The light that just flew up into the sky was from the blade of Cloud's sword that he had cut off. He angrily let go of the hilt in his hand. Dexon said, what are you doing here, Cloud Air? Cloud just silently drew another sword and golden light surrounded him. He called Cloud, the shadow of a traitor. Scene changed to Winfred and Elia. The 2 still had not left, she slumped, seeing this he was also embarrassed. Winfred opened his mouth, I am really sorry, but you were very surprised, right? Seeing that Elia did not say anything, he immediately soothed, do not worry, even though I am the crown prince, I am still Winfred, do not treat me so distantly. I do not want there to be a gap between us. But deep down she was worried about something else, I do not care about that. Elia thought, the royal symbol is a lion, it seems the emperor is a close friend of my father, and not much different in age. She secretly realized, then the young lion is the current emperor. Elia was sad, so Byron is planning to betray the country, why would he go to such lengths? Her eyes were full of sadness, in her head a voice rang out, Ophelia. Memories flooded back into Elia's thoughts, the position, my right hand, you stole everything, she spoke softly, okay, Winfred. Winfred was happy, you can call me Win too, Elia said in a low voice, you have said that, so I want to ask something. She mentioned, what happened to the emperor's position? He wondered, why are you asking about this? Elia explained, even if I am close to you, I am still afraid I will say something I do not know about. She expressed, because of my circumstances, I was not properly educated, you just need to tell me what happened in the royal family. Winfred said innocently, you are so emotional. Elia was shy and in her heart she knew what she just said was not quite right, half of it was a lie, but... He replied, I do not mind saying the wrong thing so it is okay, but that matter has not ended yet, if you do not know, there will be many times when both sides are awkward. Right, Elia repeated, that matter. Winfred recounted, that was the great prince's betrayal of the country. He recalled, when my grandfather, the previous emperor, decided on an heir, he made my father, the second prince, the crown prince. Winfred said clearly, I do not know the specific reason, originally this position should have been passed on to the great prince, but my grandfather broke the rule. He remembered Byron, that made my uncle extremely angry and he drank non-stop, his name is Byron Lionel Vito Pels. Winfred explained, my uncle is a very talented person, with just his speaking skills he led several families, so his power was not small. He recounted, then, he led several families to betray the country, and at that time, my father was on his way to Primus like I am now, at that time, the palace only had my grandfather and the guard. Winfred shared, the moment my grandfather was cornered, that person came. He mentioned, Duke Roderick Vishafen and the knights. Winfred continued, as soon as the best swordsman in the empire took action, this rebellion quickly ended. That memory was once again recreated through his words, those who were captured were stripped of their titles and executed, and those who escaped were wanted. Winfred talked about the current situation, my uncle has not been caught so he is being wanted, you can go to the security room to see the wanted notice. Hearing this Elia understood. So, his eye color is the same as Byron's for this reason. She cared, are you close to that uncle? He laughed, how could that be, At that time I was only 4 years old, Elia secretly realized, so that was 10 years ago, it has not been that long. Winfred confided, actually I have never directly met my uncle, the story I just told was learned. He smiled a little, then, my grandfather passed away 3 years ago. Winfred poured out his heart, father does not seem to want to tell me, but grandfather is different, images and conversations with his grandfather when he was young flooded back. I mention this because I want you to be the crown prince. Winfred's father at that time refuted his grandfather's words, father, the position of crown prince is still too early for Winfred, but Winfred's grandfather denied it. This position will forge wisdom. His grandfather, even though he was lying in a sick bed, was still concerned, in this empire, your uncle is still alive and hiding somewhere, I do not know when he will target your father again. Winfred's grandfather tried to instruct, so you should learn a lot and be by your father's side to help him, this is my last request. As soon as he finished speaking, his grandfather was silent, his eyes welled up with tears. And then tears that could not be contained rolled down Winfred's small face. He had memories and words spoken at that innocent age, yes, grandfather, I promise you, I will become a crown prince worthy of this empire, and I will protect father. Winfred confessed, I know, I am still too small now, but now I have had my coming of age ceremony, so I want to grow up quickly, I will help father catch uncle and bring peace to this empire. He looked forward with hope, that is my dream. Winfred was confused, I am sorry, I got off topic while explaining, because no one has ever wanted to hear this. He turned to Elia, that expression of yours, what is it? She quickly replied, no, nothing, but in Elia's head there were many questions, in the future that has passed, when I killed father, did Byron succeed in betraying the country? Did I indirectly kill this warm child, did the empire collapse? She felt remorse in her heart, since I was turned back in time, I have only been worried about revenge, I did not even think about the meaning of turning back time, but this is the first time. Thanks to Winfred, Elia finally realized more clearly, tears welled up and a satisfied smile appeared on her face at this time. Elia stood up, I will take you back before it is too late, seeing that the situation still had not calmed down he wondered, it is still noisy, right, didn't you say you were afraid of crowded places? She insisted, leave it to me, to Winfred's surprise. Elia decided, if I already know that Byron is a traitor then I need to investigate more, so I do not have time to sit here and relax. She returned the pin, I will give this back, I am not worthy of receiving these things. He emphasized, I already told you, do not say such things. Winfred said seriously, you are my benefactor, so you deserve to receive a thank you gift, why do you keep refusing me in that way? Elia was stunned for a moment, then reluctantly explained, because storing it is a bit inconvenient. He calmly, I can solve this problem, only to see Winfred raise his hand to his mouth and whistle. A golden light flashed before her eyes. Elia was surprised, Winfred raised his hand and created it and replied, it is made with magic, if you whistle it will appear. A small box appeared, then he said, I will give you this to store things. She was planning to refuse again, wait, it is a bit. He retorted, if you do not like it, why did not you deal with it from the beginning? Winfred joked, if you refuse this, I have something even more terrible, I have several magic tools now, making Elia confused, I know, I will accept it, so stop. He added, this pen is also a magic tool, it will change color over time, it is very useful when there is no clock. She knew that, but that was the reason to be wary, it is really so useful, that everyone wants it, so I do not know if I should accept it, Winfred also emphasized. Also, it does not leave any traces. Hearing that Elia was surprised, does not leave traces, a little knowledge, magic tools, and magic usually leave traces after use. Winfred was happy, yeah, the person who made this tool is the strongest mage in the world, he can also create protection magic without being detected, she secretly admired. As expected of the crown prince, to be able to befriend such great people. He repeated, making Elia jump, what is your name, I asked just now but you did not pay much attention, if I want to transfer ownership of this tool I need your name. Then she was silent and thoughtful. Elia wondered, does it have to be the full name? Winfred replied, no need, a fake name is fine too. She reluctantly, then, Elia Hailing. He felt like he had heard it somewhere, Hailing, sounds familiar, Winfred immediately chanted, I, Winfred Ulysses Vito Pels, will transfer these tools to Elia Hailing. After the command, the box in Winfred's hand emitted a brilliant golden light. He told Elia, okay, now it is yours, try whistling, she hesitated a little. The atmosphere once again fell into silence. Then Elia's voice trembled with shyness, I do not know how to whistle. Winfred burst out laughing, making her embarrassed and turn away. Scene changed to the fight between Cloud and Dexon still very fierce, the naked eye can't see clearly where both of them are. He put all his strength into slashing at him. The hatred and the will to fight to the end of Dexon clearly appeared on his face. Dexon angrily swung his sword hard. Do not keep that stupid thought, Cloud. Cloud only dodged the blow, so he was a little smug. I do not deny you are an excellent knight. Dexon mentioned, maybe even better than your brother, Bayfold. He was smug, but you were only there. How can you take down this much? Only to see soldiers appearing behind Dexon from somewhere, he requested, surrender, the law will consider your crimes. Cloud was still silent. He slowly stood up, his eyes were sharp. Dexon stared at Cloud in a puzzled way. He was preparing to take action. Cloud rushed towards him very quickly, but Dexon was no ordinary person, so he managed to swing his sword and counterattack. Dexon glared hatefully at him, this guy. Cloud's face appeared as scary as a demon, blood from the corners of his eyes spread everywhere. He deliberately got slashed and cast his magic. Then a ray of light covered the area. Those rays of light blinded Dexon and the soldiers. Unable to see clearly for a moment, he guessed, he hid a magic scroll in his shoes. The light gradually disappeared and Cloud also escaped. Dexon shouted, you are a coward, Cloud. That light also attracted Elia and Winfred. He also realized, that light, it is a magic scroll. Did something big happen? She thought to herself, Cloud is being chased. Without time to think too much, Elias suggested, all eyes are on that side, this is our chance, let us go. Winfred also quickly grabbed his cloak and followed, yeah. She jumped down first, reaching out her hand while reminding, next time do not go out this late, that assassin might target you again. He tried asking, do you know who that person is? Winfred landed in Elia's arms. She said lightly, how would I know, it is a secret. Elia reminded, you just need to know that it is someone sent by your uncle, Byron. He was surprised, what? She left. Winfred ran after. How do you know that? What is your real identity? Elia insisted. I already said, it is a secret. She held out her hand, but soldiers were searching for him, so Elia pulled him into a nearby alley. Your Highness, she said seriously, if you find out who I am later. Elia requested, then please pass this message to my parents. Both of them looked out to observe the situation. The soldiers were still shouting and searching for Winfred. Your Highness. She continued, although we can't meet now. Elia pulled him to avoid being discovered by the soldiers and said, but just wait a little longer. She confessed, I will definitely come back. As soon as she finished speaking, Elia also took Winfred to the small entrance to the castle. He looked at her. Winfred hesitated. Elia, what exactly are you? Before he could finish speaking, she cast magic to leave. I am counting on you. All of Elia's actions and words left him speechless. By the time Elia disappeared, Winfred woke up. Elia, wait. His face was a little worried and regretful. Will we meet again? Scene change. Laura was still unconscious on the ground after being drugged. A shout echoed, Laura, come down here. Awakened by that voice, she gradually became dazed, not understanding what was happening. Laura confusedly turned her head to Elia. Did I fall asleep? It is true that I was sleepy after dinner, but to the point of fainting. She stood up, her face frightened, imagining Capella punishing her. Laura told herself, absolutely must not reveal it. Her voice rang out again, Laura, making her rush down. Yes, I am coming. Feeling that Laura had left, Elia opened her eyes to investigate. She was secretly happy. Luckily Laura is not a sensitive person. She probably did not realize she fell asleep because of the medicine. It is so noisy downstairs, she will forget about it soon. Elia sat up and thought, they will probably come to wake me up in a while, so I will just rest for a bit. Then she snapped her fingers. The box that Winfred gave Elia suddenly appeared in her arms. Elia opened the box, the light inside shone brightly. She remembered what he said, so let us do this. Winfred asked, can you make a sound with your hands? Elia replied, yes, I can do that. He decided, then I will change the way to summon it like that. Winfred suggested, it would be good if we changed it before transferring ownership. Can I hold your hand for a moment? Because I need your mana to use this magic. Hearing those words made her jump. Then Elia gave him her hand. Can magic be used this way? Winfred said frankly, I learned it from the strongest mage in the world. She was curious, that great mage, who is he? He closed his eyes, then I will start. Golden light slowly radiated from both of their hands. Elia stared in surprise. Then she smiled very comfortably. In Elia's heart there was something very different. It is really strange, just thinking about it. She clasped her hands together and felt it, and I thought that light was inside me, only to see light and bright golden flowers radiating all around. Suddenly a voice rang out, making Elia wake up. Uncle Cloud has not returned yet. Everyone downstairs was buzzing about Cloud's whereabouts, catching her attention. It seems he had a conflict with the royal guard last night. Security has been strengthened now. But there is still no news from Cloud. What if he is seriously injured? Elia walked out the door. Capella's voice reminded, do not make such a fuss, Laura. Laura insisted, this is not the time to say that. We have to go find Uncle. She ordered, send a letter to cancel the trip to the temple. She shouted, Mom. Capella pointed out, I have to re-establish the budget for this trip, and also sell some jewelry. Do not do any nonsense, just keep a good watch on Elia. She had heard everything. There was a plan to go to the temple, with Byron's personality and desire for the emperor's position. Elia guessed, could it be that he is planning to hold a ceremony to appoint the crown prince? If the assassination of Winfred is successful, then it makes sense for him to bring me here. She imagined Byron winning the crown and treating her as something to achieve it. The vision that Byron wants to create has become clearer. Just thinking about it made Elia shudder. Disgusting. She leaned against the wall, but in my past life I never went to the temple, so maybe the assassination failed. Elia reasoned, but maybe because of my appearance. Cloud's disappearance arose. She was uneasy. This is troublesome. What if he never comes back? The more the future changes, the harder it will be for me. Elia again remembered Winfred radiantly calling her name, Elia. Elia's eyes softened, but she was sure, I do not feel regret at all. Elia affirmed, meeting Winfred helped me realize something very important. No matter what happens later, at the same time the sky was gradually brightening. She hoped, then I hope I have enough courage to overcome everything. Scene change. Winfred had returned to the palace. Dexon knelt down. I will accept any punishment. He was a little startled. Winfred said softly, Sir Dexon, what mistake did you make? He replied, I was negligent in protecting the crown prince, and let the assassin escape. I will take responsibility for this sin. He smiled awkwardly and was confused in his head. If it was father, he definitely would not blame you. Just as he said it, I have already sent a letter to His Majesty, so we will talk about this later. First we must focus on the traces of the escaped assassin. Winfred thought of his father being difficult with him. It is really not peaceful. You dared to go out by passing the guard. He questioned, did anyone in the Primus area see him? Dexon recounted what he had investigated. Yes, clearly when he escaped, he was injured in the corner of his eye. He reported, but no doctor said they had met such a person. The gatekeeper also said that no one had left. Winfred was quite surprised. Is he that strong, disappearing without leaving a trace? Dexon replied, we really can't underestimate him. He was fidgety, but mostly thanks to the magic scroll. It was my fault for not being able to predict he would do that. I did not expect a fugitive like him to have such an expensive item. He listened and was stunned. Would not an illegal magic scroll be more expensive than a genuine one? He thought in his head in disbelief. Where did Uncle get that money? Dexon proposed, what do you think about expanding the search area? He continued, please forgive me, Your Highness, but Primus is the western border, so there are many routes, half of which are rural villages lacking guards. Winfred rested his chin while thinking and doubting, even if we send an urgent message there, the search would be a bit difficult, right? Then he decided, let us go to the capital first, because he is impatient, Uncle won't act first. Seeing this Dexon jumped up, I will order the escort to be prepared immediately. He was concerned, at that age, having just been assassinated, and still able to be so calm. Dexon clenched his hand. As expected, it is all my fault. Winfred spoke, time is urgent, so tell them to bring less luggage. It is okay to eat simple food. Suddenly he remembered something and cried out, ah. Winfred ordered, but you must find that book and bring it to me. He did not understand. What book are you talking about? He said, the list of nobles. Outside the sunlight shone, making the palace even brighter. Everywhere was full of people. Everyone was preparing according to Winfred's words. He remembered very well, Elia's surname is Hailing. In Winfred's heart he was sure, I have heard that name before, so it must be a noble. He said firmly, I will start from the local nobles. If it is a noble in politics, then there is no way I would not remember. I want to find her. Winfred got into the carriage and before him were piles of lists of nobles that he had requested. Winfred still did not forget the look on her face when she spoke her last request. It looked very sincere. He was full of enthusiasm for the promise he made to Elia. Leave it to me, Elia. I will pass on the message as fully as possible, so that when we meet again, I won't feel ashamed. A ginger-haired soldier raised his hand to stop. Stop. He approached. I will check, so please take out everything you are carrying. The girl angrily put her hands on her hips. What kind of city is this where they stop people from leaving? Ginger Hair was still very determined. You must cooperate so that this can be finished quickly and leave here. That girl was still loud. If the goods I am carrying to sell are damaged, who will take responsibility? The black-haired soldier standing next to him thought secretly. Indeed, for innocent people this is no different from a disaster. However, this is an order from the royal guard, so I have no choice. He remembered Dexon's words. Today the crown prince will leave this place. This is a secret that must not be revealed outside. He continued to announce, your mission is to capture the remaining traitors. I will show you the wanted notices of the key people. Remember to look carefully, do not be negligent. Suddenly someone blurted out, this person. Dexon recognized that person's panic. A moment later, he was angry. I will investigate your responsibility for this matter later. The two guards hurriedly bowed. Yes. Dexon loudly announced, "I will repeat it once again, do not be negligent in checking." His words still echoed in the minds of the two guards. "Even though you are border soldiers, do not forget that you are also the sword of this empire." Ginger Hair was full of enthusiasm outside the border gate. "Next," he said to the next carriage, "open the carriage and take out the luggage," but the driver refused. I am sorry, but Our Lady." Ginger Hair did not allow that refusal. "There is no reason, no matter how terrible the identity is." Inside, a woman with a scowling face, "What is this rude act?" Seeing this he was stunned. "That, please, you will cooperate." She spoke reproachfully, "That is too much, you dare to be so rude to a carriage with a woman. What is your name? I will complain immediately." Inside, Byron was starting to lose patience. Outside, Ginger Hair was trying to soothe the woman. Please calm down, madam." He hugged Elia tightly, annoyed, these troublesome people. She covered her mouth with both hands, comforting herself, "Too disgusting, but I have to endure it, just get through today, then my future will return to its course." Elia remembered, Cloud had sent a letter back here. In the content of the letter, it seemed that he had run out of the city walls and escaped successfully. He said that he had been treated by an anonymous doctor in the countryside and woke up after 3 days. After that, he ran back to the base instead of continuing to act here. What was strange was that after reading that letter, Elia remembered Byron's words that she accidentally overheard. "Quickly prepare to leave here," Elia summarized. Byron only said one sentence like that. Currently, she was still immersed in her thoughts. "I thought he would be very angry. Why? It is not because he is worried about Cloud. Cloud is that important." Elia suddenly had a bold thought. "What if I made Cloud side with me?" Ginger Hair's voice cut off her train of thought. "There is nothing unusual." Byron and Elia were huddling in a corner. The woman spoke. "Really, let us go quickly." She continued to think. "Originally Cloud already had feelings of pity or something for me." Elia closed her eyes tightly. "So I can take advantage of him. It is difficult to think about." She again remembered Winfred. "Will we meet again?" Elia's eyes were full of sadness. She quickly analyzed her situation. "In the next few years, he won't leave the base. At first I did not understand anything, but now I can vaguely guess it." This trip out made Byron's soul flutter. Elia secretly decided, so to avoid being chased, they had to hold their breath and hide, and I had to listen to them because the chains were still here. She thought sadly, Winfred, meeting again will probably be in a distant future. At this time Elia's face clearly showed sadness. "Looking up at the sky with countless stars, until then, will you still remember me, will you not forget me?" On Winfred's side, he was attentively reading a book. Suddenly he stopped and looked into the distance. A thought sent to the moonlight, "Can we smile?" The next morning, at a magnificent palace, the butler's voice shouted loudly, "His Highness the Crown Prince has returned." Winfred ran out of the carriage. Winfred's father had not seen his figure but had heard his loud call, "My son." Winfred's father painfully hugged his face tightly. "I would not have lived. Do you know how surprised I was when I received the letter? Let me see, are you injured anywhere?" Winfred smiled helplessly. "Father, I am fine," but he did not listen. "Not fine, even though you have a magic scroll, but you do not have a guard." He interrupted, "Someone helped me." Winfred's father was surprised. "What? You did not say anything in the letter." Winfred explained, "That, it is because my benefactor does not want to reveal their identity. If I write a letter it will leave traces, so I could not write it." He asked, "So do you know who that person is?" Dexon standing next to him had turned to stone. "Your Highness the Crown Prince, did not you tell me that you were lucky to return?" He shook his head. No, I am still looking." Winfred's father seemed to understand. "So that is it." He smiled. "I know my son's heart," but in his heart he did not think so. "That guy is too suspicious." Winfred's father was very confused, saving the Crown Prince of the Empire and disappearing without asking for anything. Could it be a guilty criminal, in another place? Elia reluctantly could not deny that. He changed the subject. "So you loaded the carriage with a list of nobles and came back, right? Let me help you." But Winfred shook his head. "No need, if father knows then what is the secret?" Winfred's father smiled. Right, that is right." But when he passed Dexon, his face immediately changed. "You immediately form a separate team and go back to Primus for me. You must find out what happened that night." He agreed in helplessness. "I obey your majesty." Winfred seeing this turned around and asked, "What were you two talking about?" Winfred's father restored his smiling appearance. "Father needs to give some private instructions." In his heart he thought, "Because I was taught to repay favors when helped, so there is no way." He said lovingly, "You must be very tired now, go take a bath and rest." Winfred replied, Yes." Suddenly remembering something, he asked, "Has there been any news from the master's house recently?" Hearing this Winfred's father was silent. He turned and walked away. "It is better for you to visit in person soon." In another place, outside the mansion where Roderick and Ophelia lived, the voice of a guard rang out, "I am really sorry." A doctor spoke. We do not know the exact cause, Roderick said coldly. I will visit the lady for a moment, you go rest. Roderick Ellen Vishafen loosened his tie. Hard work. He looked at the two people bowing before him. I do not blame you, so relax your faces. Roderick strode quickly down the hallway. He slowly opened the door to the room. Ophelia was sitting enjoying the rays of sunlight. Roderick called softly, wife ah. Ophelia Vishafen was incredibly beautiful sitting there, but her face carried a hint of sadness. Ophelia anxiously asked, what did the doctor say? Seeing that he did not answer, she closed her eyes. Then Ophelia said sadly, it is okay, I guessed it already, what has happened so there is no way to turn back. Roderick only knew to call softly, wife ah. Her eyes were full of grief, even our daughter. Ophelia continued, instead of sitting here sadly, we should do what we can. He was also sad, you are right, that is why. Roderick's eyes flashed with determination. Seeing that he did not continue, she raised her head and asked, therefore what? Roderick hesitated, the emperor. Hearing this, worry and confusion clearly appeared on Ophelia's face. He continued, has sent me information that Byron is starting to act. Night fell. From inside the forest, a bright red light flashed, covering a vast area. In the dark palace, Roderick with injuries on his face was approaching. He opened the door and entered a room. Roderick was angry. How could it be? Who is it? Standing ready in the room, Byron spoke. Why did my dear friend rush here so urgently? Is it because you realized the danger is approaching the royal family? He faced him. It is nice to meet you, Roderick. He said sarcastically, you have worked hard. Roderick went straight to the point. No need for greetings. He said coldly, you are a traitor and will be stripped of your status as a prince, so you do not have the qualifications to greet me. In Byron's hand he held a glowing piece of jade. Behind him, a man was sitting. Byron sneered, ah, have you guys discussed this together? He laughed loudly, secretly judging something behind my back. The great prince is truly no better than garbage. Throw it aside, this is not something new. Silence fell for a few seconds. Byron spoke again, annoying. Then he suddenly went crazy, throwing the piece of jade in his hand. It can't be like this. Byron roared angrily, I am the eldest son of the royal family, the person who should have stood at the top of this land, yet you despise me. Roderick still calmly faced him. That is because your heart is too narrow, he shouted, shut up. He pointed at him, you think I do not know, you are the one who advised to let Hiram be the crown prince. Roderick quickly denied, I never said that to his majesty. Byron threw the sword at him, do not pretend to be innocent with that miserable face, but Roderick quickly blocked it. He continued, I am only giving you some time as a final respect, if you continue to resist then I will kill you immediately. He bowed his head, you. Then Byron raised his face at this time looked very scary, you are the cause of all this, it is really strange. Byron fell into a depressed state, why must the place of exile be the Vishafen territory, why did Ophelia leave me and choose you, why did father abandon his child? The emperor who had been sitting silently, spoke at this time, Duke, if you do this because you are worried about me, it is okay. He panted, throughout the past, I have always asked you to teach my son, but now I understand, he has no hope. The emperor begged, please stop him, even if you have to kill my son. Suddenly, a light appeared from the window. Cloud ran to, Your Highness Byron. Gusts of wind rose. Roderick looked at the situation, reinforcements at this time, who is it? At this time, Byron was standing in front of him, Roderick. He looked at the face with a few scratches that were bleeding on Roderick's face. I will destroy that shameless face of yours. Byron picked up the piece of jade, and your whole life. He had cast a curse on Elia since she was just born. I am very much looking forward to it. Soon after, Roderick's daughter, Elia, disappeared. The situation at that time was clarified, too clear. Byron had kidnapped Elia, but the girl disappeared without leaving a trace. He lowered his face and spoke. He appeared to assassinate the crown prince. Ophelia took the letter. After reading it she covered her mouth in panic. Winfred. He quickly reassured Ophelia, luckily the crown prince is still safe, so this matter, she continued, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Roderick spoke, when your health becomes better I will go find her. Ophelia shook her head, no, you should leave now. She seemed to regain her vitality, my body is fine, still plenty, we do not have time to hesitate before our daughter's clues. He heard this and was silent, then closed his eyes tightly. Roderick took Ophelia's hand and walked, okay, we will definitely find our daughter. 3 years later, when it was winter, snow fell white on the bare branches that no longer had any leaves. Cloud wrapped his coat tightly and said, let us stop here today. And the person facing him was Elia, she had grown much taller. Cloud spoke, you have grown up to the point where I almost did not recognize you, Miss Elia. Elia was a little absent-minded. All thanks to Cloud's teaching. He stared at her, secretly assessing her. Basic physical strength, technique and poison handling have all achieved achievements far beyond ordinary people. There is truly the blood of genius running. In her, Elia seeing that appearance thought, look at that complicated expression. Her eyes were a little cold, even I have not gotten used to it, and Cloud. Elia looked at him, that scarred face. Cloud again secretly assessed her, the personality has also changed, are all children like that? To suit the atmosphere, he spoke first, then the next training session. Suddenly, a messenger bird appeared. Elia was a little surprised. Magic messenger bird. She looked up at it. What is it flying here for at this time? Has the future changed? Cloud took the letter and said, just consider this as free time. Elia was dazed. Free time. He turned his back and left. Yes, I have nothing left to teach you. An indescribable emotion rose in her heart, leaving Elia speechless. Suddenly, Cloud suddenly stopped. Ah. He approached, gently placing his hand on her head. Cloud said gently, I mean you can do whatever you want. He continued, now you can take a nap, or take a walk. Elia was surprised and opened her eyes wide. Unexpectedly, she turned and ran away. Cloud's hand was still in that position, stunned, watching Elia's figure disappear. While running, Elia thought, I have tried to get closer to Cloud, so occasionally, he also seems friendly, but it is too close lately. She gasped, change, the future keeps changing. If it is like this and I can't control it, what will happen? Elia was confused. It is true that I want to change, but I am also very afraid. Please, give me more courage, she called out. Winfred. On the palace side, in the reading room, Winfred was surprised. Huh. He looked up at the sky. Who called me just now? Winfred was now a tall young man, quietly reading a book. Suddenly, there was a call, Win. He looked around for the place where his name was called, Winfred. Winfred's father waved his hand. I have not had free time for a long time, so spend some time having tea with father. Winfred asked again, have tea? He was a little sulky. That is a dull reaction, son. Ah. Winfred's father came closer to where he was sitting. You do not play with father much lately. Is it because you are busy writing those things? He wondered, those magic messenger birds, but it is not clear who the recipient is. Winfred's father continued to ask, who are you sending them to? But Winfred did not answer. If it is that benefactor, they would probably help me. I should keep quiet. He answered vaguely, it is not necessarily to have a recipient. Father is very busy. How dare I disturb father's precious time? Hearing this, his face turned gloomy. Then he pounced and hugged Winfred, this little kid. If you say you miss me, then I will definitely run over right away. You do not need to endure it. He resisted. It is not like that. This is a sign that I am growing up. Winfred's father smiled brightly. You are not that old yet. Anyway, how could father miss the story of your first love? Winfred hesitated. First love. He smiled silently. He thought to himself, why is his reaction so strange? Then Winfred's father began to launch a series of questions. Wait, Winfred, did not you tell the doctor recently that your chest keeps throbbing? He nodded. That is right, sir. He continued to ask, you can't concentrate on work and you do not have the appetite to eat, right? Winfred confirmed, yes. Winfred's father continued to ask, but the doctor said that there is nothing wrong with your health. He did not understand but still replied, yes. Hearing the answer, he confidently concluded, so there is only one answer, you are suffering from lovesickness. Winfred quickly denied, no, I do not love that person. But Winfred's father did not listen. What lady are you fascinated by? Tell me a little bit. He avoided, I already said, it is not love. He was horrified, so it is not a lady but a boy. Winfred was helpless, that is even more impossible. He was still stubborn, no matter who you love, I will always support you. Winfred was annoyed, are you listening to me? He sighed, finally the kid called me father again, Winfred said, from the beginning. Is love when the heart flutters, hesitates, and is full of emotions. I just can't forget, so I often think about it, and I also care a little bit. Originally I was just curious if he was okay. Winfred suddenly remembered the image of Elia. He thought to himself, it is natural for me to care. It has been 3 years and I still do not know her name and have not completed her request. Winfred pushed his father. Father, go away. He was still smiling. Why? He said helplessly. Father, go take care of politics. He teased, if you continue like this, I will be angry, you know. Winfred had no choice. Then I will tell mother. You really are, still planning to tell on me. First, take this. He held out a scroll. Winfred wondered, what is this? He replied, was not it 3 years ago that you could not meet the Vishafens because they went on vacation? Now I am quite busy, so you should bring a gift there for me. Winfred was excited. Did the master come back? But a gift, he said loudly. Do not be surprised, listen to me. I heard that they have a new heir. Scene changed to where Elia is living. She was stunned. It was difficult for me to calm down and come back. But what exactly is the news from Cloud that made everything so messed up? Elia looked at the building in front of her. She thought to herself, tonight I have to sneak in to find out. Over the past 3 years, I have entered and exited Byron's room countless times. Even though he was hiding, Byron was still regularly exchanging letters, and when I secretly followed him, I discovered something unbelievable, that among Byron's associates, there was a foreign noble. His name is Senisvan from Inselkopf, a neighboring empire located southwest of the empire. He is Byron's source of funding. I can't believe it. What secret did Byron trade to receive this cooperation? Although I do not know the specific content, this is definitely a serious problem. Because I could not miss it, I copied it exactly. If it were not for the gift from Winfred, I do not know where I would hide it. After experiencing such days, gathering information is no longer a problem. What I need to be wary of is the change in the future. If the reason is the butterfly effect from when I saved Winfred, then it is too late now. I can't guess anything. Has anyone else changed the future besides me? From the beginning I did not know the reason why I could go back was too difficult, so it is possible there is another person who went back to the past. But how should I find out? Immersed in a jumble of thoughts, there was a call. Miss Laura said irritably, "What are you doing here, Mr. Cloud told you to go back to your room quickly." Elia was surprised. "Go back to my room?" Laura warned, "The master's mood is very bad today. You should be careful. Really, I am worried about you. Be grateful." Elia hesitated. I know. Was not Byron's mood quite stable recently? Even Cloud said that, so the relationship will probably be cold for a while. Byron was restless in the room. He kept calling Ophelia's name. Cloud stood solemnly beside him without saying anything. Byron flew into a rage. "How dare you? How dare you carry someone else's child and not mine? Why, I love you so much." He slumped on the table. His breath was panting. In his room, Byron quickly regained his composure and thought, "Indeed, I have to kill it. Yes, there is no other way. Anyway, I love Ophelia very much, so I can ignore her mistake. That dog was raised to do this job. I must order it to kill that newborn before entering the Duke's mansion. If their second child loses their life at the hands of their own daughter, then that guy's expression would be worth enjoying." Cloud next to him clenched his fist. The night sky. Dim light shone through the window. Elia skillfully climbed through the window and infiltrated Byron's room. She was satisfied. "Good, I successfully sneaked in. It is so easy that I have become proficient. Byron is a bit negligent lately, not even bothering to cover up this mess." Of course, if standing from Byron's point of view, being wary of a kid that he is already cursed is not necessary, that is really hateful. Elia looked at the mess on the ground and exclaimed, "My God. The letter has not been burned yet. What is the content of it?" And he indifferently threw it here. The next day, Cloud announced, "Today's training session ends here. The rest of the time is free, so you can do whatever you want. Are you injured anywhere?" Immediately after, Elia left quickly. "No, I am fine, so I will take a walk and come back later." She hesitated. "I am running away again. Cloud will suspect me. But, my head is too confused. I do not know what to do. I heard that mother had a new child." That is right. Too much time has passed since I disappeared. They are so close, so having a second child is not strange. So when I heard I am no longer the only daughter, I felt very uncomfortable. But why did they change their mind this time? Weren't they always waiting for me to come back? Is there no place for me in Vishafen anymore? Elia imagined her parents happy with their second child. In her heart was bitterness. If a child like them is born, a noble and lovely child, unlike me, then they will just forget me. Will they forget me? The gloomy sky is like Elia's mood at this time. She said desperately, "No. I do not like it." 2 rows of tears rolled down the girl's cheeks. "I do not want to be forgotten. Please wait for me a little longer. Of course I know I do not have the right to demand. But I have not had time to apologize to them yet, so it can't be." A rabbit peeked out from behind a nearby bush. Elia blankly looked at it. That rabbit also stared back at her. It shyly hid behind the grass. Then another rabbit came closer. And many more. Elia's eyes widened in surprise. It was a family of rabbits. This unintentionally touched the pain in her heart. She sank into the dark void. Wait. The rabbit family left in an instant, leaving Elia in the cold snow forest. The snowflakes were falling more and more heavily. It could also be seen from Roderick's mansion. Ophelia sadly looked at the scene before her. Roderick approached and asked, "Ophelia, what are you thinking?" Ophelia replied gently, "Roderick, no, it is just like always, I am just thinking about our daughter." Ophelia regretfully remembered, "I have always regretted it. Losing her on that day was my fault. I should not have trusted that nanny. So I have lived in endless memories of her as a way to atone for my sins. And I did not dare to dream of a new life. In my heart there was a pain for her, but originally that was impossible. It should have been like that." She remembered the day she found out she was pregnant with her second child. "What a miracle. I have always missed my lost daughter. But I can't abandon this innocent life just because of that memory. Elia, my daughter, the weather today is too cold. Are you wandering on the road? Please forgive this mother. I will also raise your sibling with all my love, with the hope that one day, he will become the warmth that brings you back. So do not think that this means I have forgotten you. Your parents still love you very much. Even now, I still imagine many possibilities of that day, if only I did not leave you alone, and shared this joy together. A tear fell down. She regretted, if only I could turn back time. Back to a cold snowy night. Elia was desperate. What should I do? She ran quickly in the harsh weather. Because I kept chasing the rabbit, I got lost in the forest. It is just the rabbit family. She remembered her father and mother. Elia pursed her lips in extreme pain. She continued to run quickly on the road. The weather was gloomy and foggy. Elia fell to the ground. Byron, standing proudly, witnessed everything. His face was wrinkled and annoyed. However, he still spoke in a gentle but fake tone. It is very late, daughter. It seems great outside, right? Elia sobbed. I am sorry, I was wrong, Byron said coldly. My daughter. Do you really feel sorry for this, father? Elia reassured herself. I must be calm. Byron just wants to see my miserable appearance, not to discover that I am betraying him. So I must do as he says. Thinking this, Elia begged, please forgive me this time, father. Byron looked at Elia with cold eyes. Elia's current image reminded him of the words Ophelia had said, I will decide where I live. Why should I apologize to your highness? This made Byron make a decision. Tonight you will not be allowed to enter the house. Cloud hesitated. Master, this. Byron interrupted. Do not open the door for her. Does not she feel very comfortable being away from me? Then let her enjoy it and come back later. I must engrave this sin deeply into her heart. Cloud pulled him back. Master, wait. Byron was annoyed. You dare to disobey me. There was no other way. They had to follow Byron's order and close the door. Elia sat on the ground, reassuring herself, calm down. Even if I did not come home late today, Byron would find an excuse to be angry. It is okay, I can endure it. What is this pain? Inside, Cloud was still constantly persuading Byron, Master, the weather today is very cold, if we leave her outside. Byron did not care. I am doing this for a reason. You leave it alone and prepare the luggage. Cloud was surprised. Byron explained, I heard that hateful Vishafen has appeared on the other side of the forest. Originally I did not pay much attention. Because after the last ruckus, they only paid attention to the west. But who would have thought? They have been following those traces for 3 years and turned the empire upside down to search. They are really clinging to the point of being disgusting. But our time has not come yet, so now we have to temporarily retreat. Just let that little Elia faint and throw her into the luggage compartment. No matter what her face looks like, she carries that guy's blood. I do not want to see her at all right now. Cloud looked at him in fear. He thought in horror. In short, it is just to vent his anger. I know that he often acts on emotions, but is not this a bit too much? Cloud wondered, why am I following someone like this? No, wait, what am I thinking in front of the master? Suddenly Laura came to announce, Master, uncle, it is not good. She suddenly fainted. Byron seemed indifferent, as if it did not concern him. Then he said coldly, take care of her. I do not intend to kill her yet. As soon as he finished speaking, Cloud and Laura ran away quickly. Only Byron stood there in silence. Outside it was snowing non-stop. Byron was delighted. The weather today is really great. Elia had completely fallen down. In a daze, she heard a call, Elia, Elia, wake up. This voice, is it Mother? Her heart suddenly became warm. This must be a dream, but I can still hear Mother's voice. So warm, no, hot is right, my head is spinning, I can't think of anything. In the dream, her mother instructed, just relax and rest, Elia. At this time, Elia remembered Winfred's promise, please believe me, I promise you, I will pass on the message to your parents. And I will not forget you, I will make myself remember you. Me and your parents will be by your side. Moreover, there are many people worried about you. Elia slowly opened her eyes. Beside her now was only Cloud. She softly called his name. Cloud sighed. Miss, you are awake. Elia said sincerely, Cloud, I am uncomfortable. Wasn't Cloud always lying to me from the beginning? Cloud was silent, unable to speak. The weather had turned for the worse. Cloud's mood was also like that at this time. His hand tightly grasped the blanket. Cloud was immersed in confused thoughts. Could it be? She knows everything. I have been sick for several weeks. A few days later I was stuffed into the luggage compartment, but I do not know the route. I can only be conscious and open my eyes for a moment. Inside the luggage car was full of stuff. Elia was delirious. Cloud took me away. But what is this expression? She remembered the days Cloud took care of her in the hospital bed, his tired face. Could it be that while I was delirious I did something? Cloud spoke, Miss. Do you know my name? Elia's face flushed red. Cloud leaned over to observe. Laura called, Uncle. What are you doing? The luggage is piled up like a mountain, but you are still here to worry about her. Cloud unconsciously hesitated. That. Laura questioned, Uncle, do not you feel like you have been strange these past few years? I have not told the master about this yet. What is the reason, uncle? Inside the car Elia was still very uncomfortable because of the fever. Cloud hurriedly explained, I am just worried that she will collapse before that time comes, because this child is the master's important tool. Elia said bitterly, worried about me but saying such words, it is ridiculous, I almost swayed by that probe. After all, it was just a dream. At this time, Cloud was facing a danger. What if Elia knew everything? What should I do? Laura asked uncomfortably, where are we going now? Cloud replied, I am not very clear about the destination, but we are going east. Laura turned around in surprise. Cloud continued, they are very persistent in following, so it is very likely that we will change our plans midway. Laura was startled, so we have to live in homeless conditions until when? That is impossible. Cloud lowered his head and pondered, remembering the words Capella had said, do you understand, Cloud? If you feel moved by that child, then look to the side. Ask who the child you need to protect is, you still have your niece. Laura blankly looked at her uncle. Cloud promised, do not worry, I will take care of you carefully so you do not feel inconvenienced when camping. Laura was surprised, what? Winfred happily rode on horseback. He said happily, the weather today is great. Winfred turned around and said to the aide, thanks to you, I did not encounter any obstacles when coming here, we arrived earlier than the appointment time. The servants lined up respectfully, please come in, Prince Winfred. Winfred smiled socially, you must arrive early when going to the master's house. Dexon was flustered, but you must also arrive on time. A voice rang out, Your Highness. Winfred excitedly called out, Master, Duchess. Ophelia choked, Your Highness, are you still well? Winfred ran over to greet, how long has it been? I was very surprised when I heard you set out to the west so late. Roderick politely replied, I am really sorry, Your Highness, because we have urgent matters. Before he could finish speaking Winfred asked, Does the master miss me? Roderick replied, Of course, I was very curious to know how you have been doing. It has been a long time, you have grown up to this point. Winfred was overjoyed when he heard this, do you really think so? But I am also about to come of age, I have grown taller and my voice is deeper and better. But before talking about that, he took out gifts from small to large, you must accept my congratulations first. This is a gift that His Majesty sent, including new fabric, ingredients that are good for health and a scented pouch. To help sleep well, Roderick was helpless, Your Highness, is not this a bit too much? Winfred still kept that smile, no, I have also prepared another gift. Roderick looked blank, is this excessive gift-giving inherited? Very lovely. Winfred made a solemn expression, and the gift that I put the most effort into. Is this high-end music box? This is custom-made, so the two of you remember to show it off. Ophelia smiled kindly, thanks to you I can smile like this, please convey my thanks to His Majesty. Winfred replied, yes, leave it to me, he was secretly happy in his heart, luckily, they do not seem too sad. Before leaving, his father said, Win, I have something I want to tell you, this happened when you were young, so you may have forgotten. The Duke's family once lost a daughter, now they have a child even though they still have not found that daughter. So they may be more sad, Winfred choked, yes. Remembering the words his father had said, before giving gifts, carefully observe the expression of the people in the mansion, if you see that they are more sad than happy. Then comfort them for a while and then come back. Winfred sighed, I heard that, but the current situation is better than I thought. Roderick said, then let us go inside. Ophelia smiled gently, we have received your gifts, it is not appropriate to talk here, right? Winfred was startled, ah, yes, that is right, he wondered, what should I do? This time I came here to talk about the magic box. Originally that was a gift from the Duchess, I must apologize for giving it to someone else without permission. But, would it be superfluous to talk about it now? What if because of Elia's matter they remember that daughter and become sad, but Elia's age is close to the missing princess? Winfred's face looked slightly sad. He pondered, thinking about it. It is also very similar, right? Winfred reassured himself, calm down. Elia really looks like the Duchess, but I can't conclude hastily like that. If this is just someone who looks like someone, then I would be rubbing salt into the wounds of the Duke and Duchess. But I can't let it go either, how to say it most naturally. Seeing Winfred's strangeness, Roderick asked, is the prince all right? You look like you are worried about something. Winfred was startled, ah, no, it has been a long time since I have seen you. So I am just too happy. Only now did he realize his impoliteness, because I have noticed it, my eyes keep unconsciously turning to the Duchess, I must restrain myself. Both of them were confused by Winfred's strange actions. Roderick had something to do, oh I almost forgot, I have to go pick up an urgent letter, you two talk first. I will go write a reply and come back right away, Ophelia replied gently, okay, you go. Winfred's mouth dropped open, could it be that the master is intentionally leaving me alone with the lady? Come on, Ophelia's eyes twinkled as she looked at him, so, Prince, what do you want to say? Winfred had no choice but to speak. "Ah, Duchess, I heard that you are from Tamora," she replied. "Yes, I became a citizen of this empire after I got married, but is there anything wrong?" Winfred started to get to the main issue. "I am just curious if the Duchess's silver hair is a common trait of the people of Tamora, because I have never seen anyone like that in the capital." "It is not very important, right?" He sighed in his heart. "Let us try approaching in this way, huh?" Ophelia gently touched her signature platinum hair. "Ah, this hair color is very rare, right? I only inherited it from my mother. It is not a common trait of the people of Tamora. But now it has become a signature of the Hailing family." Hearing this, Winfred froze. "Hailing?" Ophelia explained. "This matter has passed for a long time, so you may not remember clearly, but that is my maiden name before marriage." In Winfred's head, the images of the two people suddenly overlapped. His face briefly froze. Winfred stood up abruptly. Ophelia was surprised. "Your Highness, what is wrong?" Winfred hesitated. 3 years ago, I met a girl with silver hair." Ophelia was a little confused, but still said slowly, "No matter how rare this hair color is, it is not like it does not exist. The possibility of it being related to my mother's family is not very high." Winfred continued. "She said her name was Elia Hailing." Ophelia was shocked. "What?" Winfred lowered his face. "She was a girl with silver hair like your wife and blue eyes like master, she called herself." Speaking to here, he suddenly stopped. Ophelia cried in a choked voice, "Elia." In some place, a letter had been sent to Ophelia. "Sorry for not replying to you until now, because my schedule is too tight, I forgot, but you were the one who told me to come here, so forgive me this time. And Tata, I have arrived at the eastern port of the empire. I will come to see you soon, so do not prepare any welcome parties. Regarding your current situation, I have to see it directly before I can say it. To be honest, I can't guess what it is at all. It might hurt your pride a bit, right?" Candace became more flustered than ever. "Of course, I am not the best mage. There is no more letter paper." "Well, there is no other way. Just leave it like that and send it. This person is Candace Epica, the head of the academy in Tamora." She ran off panting just like a child. Looking at the pile of books she had knocked over, Candace was flustered. "I am too rushed." A man rushed over. "Miss, let me help you. You are carrying all this stuff and coming to this empire." Candace opened her eyes wide in surprise. "How do you know I am from Tamora?" The man replied. "Just now when you were writing a letter, you muttered it out loud. But you should bring less luggage before taking the carriage. I am not just saying it for fun, it is very dangerous." This made Candace even more curious. "Dangerous? Why?" The man explained. "These days, robbers are rampant in the mountains over there. It seems that they will rob all the luggage of the travelers they meet on the road, so any car that is full of stuff is the #1 target. That is why I advise you to bring less luggage. It is best to take a private carriage." Candace wondered. This area did not have such things before, right? The man was a little stunned. "How do you know so well? Isn't this your first time coming to this empire? Just as you said, this area has become worse in the last 3 years. I do not know how. The criminals from the west have fled here. It is really incomprehensible." Candace was silent and did not speak. She replied politely, "Thank you for helping me. I am leaving." The man said, "Okay, travel carefully." At the beginning of the road, Candace sighed softly. She told herself, Ophelia must quickly find her daughter. Over here, Byron's men were riding horses past. Behind the car was Elia hiding. Candace wondered, "But I do not know where to find her now." Elia was still a little tired from the fever. "The sky today is so beautiful." Scene changed to the Duke's mansion. Roderick had just heard the news. Elia is in Primus. Winfred was at a loss for words. "I am sorry for not being able to say it sooner, but it seems that Elia is in a very dangerous environment. So I could not say it casually." Ophelia buried her face in her hands. "So it is true." Winfred lowered his face. "And Elia also asked me for this. She wanted to pass on a message to her parents, and wanted me to keep it a secret for her. That she will return, although we can't meet now, but just wait a little longer." Hearing this, Ophelia cried even louder. An adult man like Roderick could not hold back his tears either. At this time, Winfred realized something. "Elia, you do not need to ask for this. They have always been waiting for you and will always be there. Look, even at this moment it is like that." Ophelia regained her composure. "I am really sorry, Prince. I can't stop crying. But now I have calmed down." Winfred was flustered. "You do not need to apologize, but it is a coincidence. The girl you met was the princess." Ophelia smiled brightly. "It must be because you have a connection with my Elia." Winfred was surprised. "A connection?" She added, "Elia was once your fiancé." Winfred's eyes widened. Road froze. "Wife seeing this, Ophelia reconciled. "I was just joking for fun." Winfred blushed. "What is this? Elia is my fiancé, Elia is mine." Winfred was confused. "What are you talking about?" She began to tell. "The story is like this, the royal palace before It was a matter of many years ago. Roderick's family and the Emperor's family had a friendly meeting. A young voice rang out, "I do not want to go anywhere now." His mother asked gently, "Why, son?" That boy continued, "That, it is not like I am doing anything special. It is just that I want to look at Elia." "Is it okay?" Just such a question made the parents laugh non-stop. Ophelia asked, "Is that so? Is Elia very pretty, son?" Winfred said firmly, "Oh no, yes." The Emperor exclaimed, "Oh dear, this is not good, we must let your daughter and my son get engaged." Roderick's face darkened. "I hope you do not joke like that, Lord." Pels laughed until he cried, "Why, my son is a great husband, you know." Roderick was helpless. "I do not mean to say that His Highness is lacking." Pels was still joking. "So it is me, your future-in-law has a problem." Roderick could not speak, these current actions. Winfred innocently asked, "What is engagement?" His mother replied slowly, "Ah, it is a promise to become husband and wife in the future. It is a lifelong relationship, where two people are willing to stay together for life. They will love and protect each other." Winfred's eyes sparkled as he looked at the little Elia in front of him. He happily said, "Then I want to, together with Elia." Before he could finish speaking, a voice interrupted, "No." Roderick was furious. "It is still too early to discuss marriage for Elia, maybe in 100 years, even if it is His Highness, you have to wait until adulthood." The Emperor laughed non-stop. "This guy, why are you so serious, father? His Majesty means it as a joke, right?" Winfred's eyes were teary. The Emperor immediately became serious again. "I was wrong, do not make that sad face anymore." Winfred was still sure, "I am not joking, I want to get engaged to Elia." Ophelia was amused. "That is how it is." Winfred blushed. "It is more embarrassing than I thought." She smiled brightly. He was clearly embarrassed, but I welcomed it wholeheartedly. I was very happy, because I had all the people I loved by my side. So I do not think there could be a more perfect day. If your Highness gets married, you may understand in the future. I had forgotten that bright future for a long time, but thanks to the prince, I was able to dream again, once again. I really thank you. Winfred pondered. The Duchess said that much. I kept my promise too late. This feeling, I must return it at some point. But if it is that... Scene changed to the deserted forest. The carriage of Byron's group was moving on the road. Suddenly there was a voice. "Hey, stop." Cloud stepped forward gloomily. "Stop the carriage." The horse driver exclaimed, "Mr. Cloud looks no different from a robber." Laura was excited, "More like a fur trader, right? Do we really have to welcome people in this appearance?" Cloud replied, "There is no way, right, Laura? Security around here has become stricter, so we have to disband and regroup later. As a pioneer, I must help the rest who do not know the way." In his heart he was always worried. How is Elia's condition? Cloud spoke, "Miss, get out of the car." Elia was still a little drowsy. "Have we arrived?" Sadness appeared in her eyes. Cloud asked, "Your fever has not gone down, right?" Laura mixed a little irritation. "If you take disguise magic medicine while having a high fever." Cloud said softly, "Even if you can't reveal your identity, you must put your health first. Medicine is not okay, so use a cloak." Laura next to him questioned, "Are you worried about the mist now?" Cloud quickly explained, "It is not like that, Laura." "Now," Elia spoke, "Hey. Let us talk about that later." At this time a group of royal people had approached. Laura was terrified. "What should we do?" Cloud reassured, "Calm down. If we run away now, it will be even more suspicious. Moreover, we already discussed it. Just pretend to be fur traders." He turned back and instructed, "Miss, please hide and keep quiet." The group of people got closer and closer. That person said, "I am sorry, we are the Eastern Knights in charge of security in this area. We are patrolling because there have been many robbers recently, so please state your identity and reason for passing through this area." Cloud introduced himself with a false identity. "My name is Ben, a fur trader. I am on the way to transport leather that was imported from the port." The patrol soldiers were stunned for a moment. The leader spoke, "Can you prove that you are a merchant?" Cloud was still calm. "Yes, there is a transaction book in the carriage." The guard tried to think, this face is familiar. When their eyes met, they were both startled. Before anything, they attacked. Another guard panicked and shouted, "What are you doing?" The person was fighting and explaining, "It is on the crime wanted list. He is the criminal that Mr. Dexon has been sending wanted notices for in recent years." The other guy was surprised. "What? Quickly go back and call for more people." Cloud thought, "Alexia, it is useless. It is hard to avoid conflict like this. Before things get bigger I must kill them and run away." Suddenly there was a voice, "Cloud." Cloud stopped, making the guard surprised. He panicked, "What is wrong?" Suddenly the sword lost its strength, "But it is not that heavy." Elia spoke, "I will fight with you." She walked confidently. "This will be an opportunity to test my abilities." Cloud was surprised. "Miss." He advised, "You can't fight now, so you do not need to." Elia refused, "If it is not now, when will I get to practice? Elia calculated, Cloud will kill those knights, so no matter what I must stop it, she pretended, do not run away. Is it because of me that you are going to call for more people? The guards were wary, why should we listen to you? Elia said sternly, give me the sword, Cloud. The guards were horrified. They discussed, what should we do, or should we go find help? No, let us fight. The guard frowned, there is no information about a kid using a sword on the wanted list. Originally border knights like us can't defeat Eorga, so we must try to get information and protect our lives. But, a knight assumed a fighting stance and announced, then I will deal with you first. Elia raised the tip of the sword, saying loudly, no need, everyone come at me all at once. Cloud waved his hand lightly, try facing those three for 30 minutes. If you still have not finished then I will handle it, Elia replied, I know. The knights were horrified, 3 versus 1, and with a kid. Elia sternly retorted, do not underestimate me, come on. Byron stepped forward, saying gloomily, so. My daughter alone. Defeated those people. Byron stood looking at the knights lying scattered on the ground. Elia sat down and panted heavily. The knight opened his eyes wide in admiration. Elia used thoughts to communicate with him, be quiet, if you are discovered you will die. The knight also realized, she avoided the weaknesses and only made everyone unconscious, this child. Cloud hesitated, she said she will also handle the people coming to support. Byron pretended to be surprised, is that so? It is a bit too much. Elia said charmingly, I also want to help father. Byron smiled, I know, you are really a good child. At this time Elia was still very tired. Suddenly a thought flashed in her head, how about I kill him now, the sword is in my hands. If I turn around and swing the sword now, then I can stab straight into the heart of the person who is off guard, this opportunity will not come twice. But, Elia gritted her teeth. I must endure it, because the curse is still on me, I have to say lies, thank you for the praise, father. Byron said, alright, come here. You look so messy, it must have been very hard. Is your hair okay? Luckily, it is fine. The knight was confused, silver hair, does the great prince have a daughter? Cloud noticed the urgent situation and said, Master, maybe we should move. Ah, that is right, but first we must deal with the luggage on the car. We have passed the inspection, so it is better to travel together in one car now. He struggled with reason, no, Byron will run away again. Damn it, I will use this last amount of strength to catch him back. Elia knew what he was thinking and stopped him, do not do that. Just stay there and take your teammates back, and do not think about sending someone to follow. It is not that I am siding with Byron. But now is not the time, please pass this message on to the people who are about to come. Cloud urged, Miss, let us go. Elia immediately replied, I am coming. Their carriage quickly left. It was dark, under the bright full moon. A voice wondered, what about the others? Byron explained, they will wait at the old base, because Capella has not arrived yet, we have to go pick her up. Elia was a little disappointed, so we are not going to the base, Byron replied wearily, they are searching more strictly than I thought. I do not know where to go. Cloud gave an idea, Master, what about the basement? We have also gathered quite a bit of wealth, just talk well and we will get help from her. Elia secretly wondered, the basement, who is she? Byron immediately rejected, are you still sober? I do not want to experience the feeling of begging like 11 years ago again, I am not going anywhere. Elia was suspicious, where is this? Thinking this she asked, then where are you going? Byron pondered, let us see, how about going to Inselkopf? Laura widened her eyes, is it always abroad? Byron crossed his arms, are you surprised? I know a smuggler who is working nearby. If we get over there, then the Earl will surely provide at least one place to hide. Elia was disappointed, there is no stopping. Byron ordered, tell the driver again. Cloud replied, yes. The carriage continued to move in the late night. In another place, Dexon kicked open the door and entered, which night saw Byron. Is it you? Then answer my questions. That person hurried forward, yes, Mr. Dexon, but he is injured, so please take it slow. That knight spoke, oh no, I am fine, I also thought I had to quickly report the news to you. He began to tell, it is the story of a girl with silver hair who helped me. Dexon was silent. The knight began to speak in detail, the story is like this. Hearing the matter, Dexon was incredulous, how could it be? 3 years ago when I investigated in Primus, there was also a story about a girl with silver hair, along with a long strand of hair attached to the crown prince's cloak at that time. But that alone could not be sure of anything, so I kept the secret in silence, so that girl is living next to Byron, it is the princess of Vishafen. The knight said, and she also said something very strange to me. Dexon was surprised, something very strange. She said that now is not the time to arrest Byron. Dexon froze. Dexon wondered, what does she mean? If this testimony is true, then the princess used Eorga's swordsmanship, and she called Byron father. That is, although the princess was raised by Byron as a daughter, she is still aware of her true identity. She is really a smart girl, I do not think she is talking nonsense. Seeing that Dexon had not spoken for a long time, the knight asked, what should we do? He suggested, if we send a raid team now, we can catch them. Dexon made a decision, no, do not send a raid team, you and the other knights must keep this a secret. The knight was skeptical, do you believe it, the words of that child? Dexon stopped him, let us leave the matter of believing it or not for later, just the things that have been exposed are enough to show that the child is a hostage. If we arbitrarily arrest Byron, then that child will be in danger. So, I will return to the royal palace and report first. His Highness the Crown Prince is returning. As soon as he saw the aide, Winfred cheerfully greeted, Mr. Dexon, you have worked hard, running all night to get back here. Dexon respectfully replied, yes, I have returned, Winfred said. Yesterday I was very surprised. I did not expect you to have urgent business all the way in the east. When Winfred was at the Bischoffen's mansion, he received a notification, an urgent message. Dexon lowered his face, it is really embarrassing that I entrusted the protection of the Crown Prince to the Duke's family. Winfred still gently reassured, there is no way, thanks to that I got to stay at Master's house for another night, I was very happy, so. It seems you have gathered important information. Roderick's face appeared with a harsh look. Winfred said seriously, seeing Master coming to the royal palace is enough to know. Dexon said kindly, yes, I will present everything in detail. Up to this point, if we rearrange all the information. The Duke's family and the Emperor met. The Emperor looked at the letter and said, so the Bishafen's Princess Elia is still alive, she is living under my foolish brother, and said not to pursue. What do you think about this? Roderick was sad. Winfred nominated, let us hear it, Dexon. Dexon replied, if it is as described, then the princess has the qualities of a sword master, even though these are border knights, not everyone can stand up to her alone. And yet she could not escape Byron, that is too unreasonable. At this time Winfred also realized something strange. He turned to his father and Roderick and said, that is right, clearly Elia from a few years ago also said that she would leave whenever she wanted, if she did not have confidence. How could she be so sure that she would return? The Emperor hemmed a little, everyone agreed that the action was for a reason, but what exactly is that reason? Roderick's face trembled slightly. He suggested, what if we conduct an investigation of the nobles under the order of the royal family? As soon as the words were spoken, the whole table was silent. The Emperor was slightly angry, are you planning to stir up the noble world? Roderick reported, I followed the trail from the west and finally found his location, but I was one step late, he had already left. Although there were traces that he had packed up in a hurry, the amount of luggage he took was quite a lot. Such a large amount of stuff, but they retreated so quickly, that means there is someone behind them supporting them, the Emperor pressed, so there is an outside force. Roderick added, but the influence of the outsiders is clearly limited, the Emperor said sternly, you know what that means and you still say it. Roderick calmly gave his opinion. There must be an accomplice in this empire. The remnants of the rebel faction are still there, that is clear. The Emperor was silent. He lowered his head, saying heavily, when I ascended the throne at that time, I carefully considered the punishment of the rebel faction. Moreover, you also participated and shouldered the responsibility with me. That means what you are saying is no different from confirming that both you and I are useless. The Emperor's eyes were sharp, I will give you a chance to withdraw your words, Duke Vishafen. Roderick was still sure, no, I will not withdraw my words. Seeing that the situation seemed tense, Winfred hesitated, then. Before anything, the situation eased, the Emperor smiled, we must get the list from the Ministry of Interior. Roderick also automatically reconciled, I will arrange the schedule myself. At this time Dexon spoke, the prince has only attended these meetings recently, but they are always like this. The Emperor smiled like a flower and explained, the Duke is both a confidant and someone who dares to be frank with me, so it is really precious. He instructed his son, you should also cherish the relationships that will come to you and choose friends carefully. The Emperor returned to the main subject, so the fact that the princess can't return is also related to this matter. Roderick replied, I think so I proposed this. Even though this assumption is a bit vague, I still want to find out as much as possible. She said she would return, so I also want to try my best to be worthy of the title of father. At night, the voice of the horse driver rang out, is this really where you want to go? Candace replied, yes, that is right, I will be back later. The horse driver said in confusion, you are really a strange person, you must be sober. This place has been occupied by dangerous people for a long time. I will only wait for 3 hours as promised, please go quickly and come back. Candace was sure, yes, I will be back soon. Candace looked around, feeling a little excited in her heart, I have found the right place. Dangerous places like this usually have original information circulating, Ophelia's family is too upright. So they never thought of coming to this place, a friend like me must stand up to help them. Although I can't find a reliable informant immediately, I can find the biggest tavern to go in and take a look. Suddenly a scream echoed. Candace startled in panic. On the other side, two men were bullying a woman. Come play with me. That girl struggled. Let me go. Candace thought, that girl is in danger. Laura was flustered. I am just going to do some chores. Candace panicked. I must help her. Which magic should I use? Suddenly Elia appeared to everyone's surprise. The pervert was stunned. What is that? He opened his eyes wide. Elia covered her face tightly, landing neatly on the ground. The other guy said blankly, What is that? Just a kid. Elia rushed over and attacked him. Candace was amazed and speechless. The group of people lay scattered on the ground. Elia said in a low voice of blame, It was hard to find you. Father is very angry because you are late. Candace was still immersed in a jumble of thoughts. Blue eyes, what is that? An extraordinary girl. Candace called out, Hey, I want to talk to you two for a bit. Elia and the maid paused. She hurriedly bowed. You are the one who tried to help me, right? Thank you. Hearing this she was confused. No, I did not do anything, the maid replied. Then we will go now. Candace froze as she watched both of them turn their backs and leave. She hesitated. Wait, I just want to talk. As soon as she finished speaking, Candace was surrounded by an alarm magic tool. She was worried, if I stay here then the carriage will leave. But I am very curious about that girl. Is this normal curiosity? Candace frowned and thought, think carefully, Candace, I should find information about her daughter instead of a stranger. She turned her back and decided, that is right, if there is a connection, we will meet again. Inside the room, the sound of breaking things and cursing rang out, damn it. Byron with sharp eyes, you mean you won't let me hitchhike? The other party replied, then you have to give me some extra reward money, he shouted, you. Right at this moment the maid entered and spoke, we are back. The other party was still bickering and cursing. She said to Elia, I will go get water for you to take medicine, just sit here quietly. Byron sat and questioned the employee, now you want to change your mind. That person explained with difficulty, I do not want to, but the situation has changed. I heard that a traitor is nearby. Hearing this Elia was startled. He followed her figure and recounted, on the way here, I saw a lot of corpses. The waiter pondered, why did the rumor spread? Could there still be survivors? Byron asked, daughter, can you answer me? Suddenly Cloud appeared, that was my negligence. This is the first time the miss has practiced the lessons, so I should have checked carefully. Byron questioned, what you are saying is not wrong, but why did you make such a basic mistake, or was it intentional? Elia worriedly listened to the conversation. Cloud explained, how could I do that? It is just. He asked, so how do you plan to take responsibility? He glanced at her. Both of their eyes met. Elia hurriedly walked upstairs. She ran quickly on the stairs. Entering the room Elia slammed the door. She was scared, it can't be, did Cloud really discover something, but why would he help me? Elia remembered how he treated her and questioned, or is it just kindness, what exactly is it? He always treats me like that. She asked herself, why? Elia remembered Winfred's instructions, please accept it completely. She was silent in the room alone. Elia asked countless questions, finally. She was full of sadness, I can't even meet the people I want. Elia sat down and hugged her head in pain. In another place, a pencil was sketching busily on paper. Winfred picked up the newly drawn picture and wondered, I guess it is okay, right? He was full of pride, even though I drew it, it looks quite similar, now to put it in a frame, the whole room was full of unsatisfactory drawings thrown around. Just then there was a knock, Winfred spoke, come in. A girl gently pushed the door and entered. Binka carried tea and smiled, Prince, I have brought the hot tea here, are you still drawing? He called out, Binka. Winfred said, you came at the right time, can you tell the servant outside to bring me the picture frame? She replied, you are done drawing, congratulations. He said, I feel so bad, you just came back from vacation and I am already making you work again. Binka put down the tea tray and smiled, no, you do not need to be like that. Me coming back from vacation and working. She began to pour tea. Binka continued, is something I scheduled in advance. Winfred looked at her and smiled approvingly. He blurted out, Binka is so kind. She was curious, so who did you draw? Winfred was excited, this is. Binka looked at him waiting for an answer. Unexpectedly Winfred stopped speaking. He scratched his head in confusion, I am sorry, it is strange to say it. The atmosphere suddenly became quiet and cold. She looked sad, so that is it, I am just a maid, Winfred quickly explained, it is not like that, I am just embarrassed, Binka smiled, yes. She left saying goodbye, then please rest. Before leaving, Binka signaled to the two guards. Her face was gloomy as she walked down the hallway. Binka glanced outside. She thought regretfully, the effect is sometimes there, sometimes not. Binka suddenly spoke, are you luring me into a deal? Immediately after, something flew in. A joking voice, oh, is that so? A gloomy voice rang out, that magic tool also has its limits. Because it is still in the testing phase, you have heard the explanation but you still want it. You are really a greedy lady. Binka said, I did not expect its effect to be so poor, give me more or change it to something else. The other party immediately disagreed, no. Do you know how difficult it is to create magic that can touch the minds of others? You are not worth my attention. The other party said disdainfully, your dragon blood is really attractive, but that is all. I have fulfilled my obligations in this transaction. The other party warned, if you do not want to be discovered sneaking into the royal palace then stop, I am leaving. After saying that, he disappeared, leaving her alone in the hallway. Right at this moment a male servant came. He looked at Binka wondering, who was standing there, too unfamiliar. The male servant approached. She was silent. Then suddenly spoke pretending to joke, you really are. Are you teasing me for just returning from vacation? I am Binka. At another mansion, a greeting rang out, the Duke has returned. Candace stepped forward and joked, finally the guy who spends all day at the royal palace is back. Hello. I am Candace. Roderick and Winfred were surprised to see her. Both of them froze because they did not know who she was. He tried to break the awkward atmosphere, that sounds great. She was embarrassed, Your Highness, you do not need to agree with me. Ophelia introduced, this is my friend, Candace. Roderick asked Candace, when did you arrive? I was startled. She explained, I just arrived, then I happened to hear that the Duke had returned, so I planned to make a joke. If everyone is going to discuss important matters, I will go to the living room. He replied, no need, His Highness came here to give a gift. Candace was excited, oh, a gift, what is it? Ophelia was just as curious. Winfred pointed at the servant who was carrying the items up and explained, it is not anything too great, although Elia still can't return now. If I give this then everyone will probably feel somewhat relieved. The picture was opened, her shape appeared, he continued, this is a portrait of Elia that is left in my memory. Because you two do not know anything about Elia's adult form, I wanted to give it to you too. Candace froze wondering, what is this? She watched Winfred give it to the Duke and Ophelia, please try your best. Candace was confused, that child is Elia, but how does the prince know what Elia looks like? Ophelia hugged the picture and cried, thank you, Prince. Candace thought, even though I do not know what is going on, but seeing Ophelia so happy. Then I feel better too. She asked, but will anyone tell me what is going on? In the morning in another place, Elia was sitting by the window, suddenly there was a call miss. She startled and turned her head. The maid announced, now we will gradually depart. Suddenly she shouted. Why did you open the window without permission? I have said it, your silver hair is precious, so do not let everyone see it. The maid closed the window, really, you are increasingly disobedient, how is your body doing? Elia replied, completely healed, it is also thanks to taking medicine and sleeping. The maid continued, that is good, I will give you disguise medicine. She instructed, the journey ahead is quite long, so do not pass out again. Do you know how tiring it is to take care of a sick person? Elia held the medicine bottle feeling wronged, I did not do anything. The call below echoed, are you done? Quickly come down here with the miss. The maid shouted down, almost done. She reminded, but please remember this clearly. Your body is not just your own, if anything happens to you, the master will be very sad. After taking the medicine, Elia's hair immediately turned yellow, she spoke, I know. On the way she thought. I know, that is why I can't escape, if I hurriedly run away and something happens, then my real father will be very sad. Cloud held out his hand to support Elia. She thought, a changed future, full of mysteries and dangers, there, only the sincere warmth and fleeting moments can support my steps. It was late at night, Elia was bored, when will I finish this road? Where will my freedom be? She just followed Cloud like that. Behind Elia's neck a mark appeared. Morning began, everyone gradually arrived. Earl of the Inselkopf Empire, Erner Senesvam welcomed distinguished guests to our mansion. Byron was annoyed, are you still smiling, because you sent a strange guide, I got lost and suffered the whole way here. Erner Senesvam confusedly looked for an explanation. Because this is a secret border crossing, let us skip that, let me introduce my son first. This is Gerald, the heir of the Senesvam family. I have already set my eyes on you. He glanced at Elia. In another place Candace affirmed, I am sure I made eye contact with that child at that time. Winfred was incredulous, you mean Elia? Candace held her head, that is right, even though it was quite dark at that time, so I could not see her face clearly, but I noticed the blue eyes. Ophelia hurriedly said, wait, Candace, calm down. She asked, where did you see Elia? She recounted, in the old village near the eastern port of the empire, that is where criminals are hiding. Ophelia with 2 rows of tears, so Elia has been taken abroad, Roderick calmly speculated, it seems that is right. He frowned helplessly, but honey, Elia sent a message not to come looking for her and he did not know what the threat was, but we can't chase them, even if missing this opportunity may be painful for us. Perhaps this is the right decision. She was incredulous. The right decision. Roderick bit his lip helplessly. Ophelia was silent. She was determined. No, I do not think so. Elia is still very young. No matter what that threat is, we must help her be safe. He proposed, then we must investigate first. She said, how long do you think it will take? No matter how dangerous it is, we must use every trick to approach. Roderick hesitated. Wife that. He really was. Right at this moment Candace clapped her hands. Both of them turned to look at her. Candace spoke. Enough. Are you two still arguing? Elia would not want this. The feelings you two have for Elia are the same, just the direction of thinking is a little different. Ophelia was silent and helpless. She continued, first you two need to calm down. Both of them hugged each other with hope. We will definitely find the right answer. Winfred saw how Candace arranged things and exclaimed, she is planning, let us rearrange our thoughts. He spoke, I think Byron will be on guard if we chase them and may harm Elia. Ophelia speculated, there is no one good at magic on Byron's side, it might be feasible if we use magic to follow. Candace suggested, it seems they used illegal magic scrolls like dark magic tools, maybe it is better to investigate in this direction. Winfred suddenly said loudly, I have a way to follow. Elia has a magic box. It seems that box does not leave any traces, but the creator can trace it, and the creator is the Duchess. Everyone froze. He did not understand why everyone was suddenly silent. Candace asked Ophelia, you still have not told the prince. She was flustered. I thought His Majesty had already said it. Your Highness, I am sorry for saying this too late. She recounted, I lost all my mana 3 years ago, I can't call myself a mage anymore. Winfred was surprised. What, this? Candace said, that is right, it is very surprising, but it is true. That is why I, the head of the academy, came here. Because medicine can't determine the cause, I wanted to try to study it. Right at this moment she suddenly realized, but wait a minute, perhaps I can still trace the box. Everyone's mouths dropped open in surprise. Roderick blurted out, what are you saying? She asked him, do you remember how to trace magic tools that I explained before? Roderick replied, when casting magic, it will leave a characteristic oscillation. Therefore, people will use another type of magic to sense that oscillation. Candace continued, to be precise, there are 2 types of magic oscillation, natural mana oscillation, which is common to all, and individual unique mana oscillation. And only this oscillation will leave traces. How subtle the ability to hide this oscillation, how well it can be detected, is the measure of a mage's level. That is, no matter how subtly the oscillation is hidden, it will be detected by top mages. He was confused, so the Duchess does not leave any traces, she explained, to put it more simply. There is no mage stronger than Ophelia, so detecting the traces is impossible, she spoke. At that time the prince was still young, so I only explained it briefly. Winfred was surprised, the strongest mage in the world. Candace asked her, but how did you say you can trace it? Even though you have lost all your mana, that magic tool still works as before. Is there anyone tracking it besides? Ophelia replied, just need a stronger mage than me. She was incredulous. In theory that is right, she explained, now I can't use magic. So there is no need to keep secrets. Moreover, in front of me there is another outstanding mage. Ophelia looked at Candace with full of trust. Candace, I will pass on all my knowledge to you. Do you want to become the strongest mage on this continent? In another place at the dining table, Gerald spoke, I think women should be obedient. Elia sat opposite him silently. She did not understand anything and thought, what is he saying for no reason? We just met for the first time, and we are having a greeting meal. He smiled and explained, I am just complimenting that your table manners are very standard, do not you understand? Elia tried to reply, thank you, she thought, no one compliments like that, I do not want to talk to this person, but there is no reason. I have never met him in the past, so I do not have any information. Seeing that Elia was not focusing, Gerald called, so, hey, are you listening? I am asking what your name is. He began to guess, let me guess, it probably starts with the letter R, right? She replied, I do not have a name. Gerald was incredulous. Who does not have a name? If you do not like to say it then just say you do not like to. Elia was silent. What can I say if I do not have a name to say? Of course my name is Elia, but I in the present do not know that name. Annoying, he said, then let me give you a name. Let us see, because your beautiful hair is pink gold, blonde. Elia became increasingly irritated. She spoke, hey, I just want to live here quietly and then leave, so do not pay attention to me. He smiled, how can I not pay attention to you? We are going to get engaged. Hearing this Elia was surprised and incredulous, freezing. What? Gerald asked, what do you think is the reason why the adults are eating separately? Of course it is to talk about marriage. A moment later Byron said coldly, no, I do not agree to the engagement. After hearing it, Erner Senesphone was incredulous at that answer. He begged, why did you refuse so quickly? We can strengthen our relationship. Do you not think it is good? He replied, because I trust the Earl, so I will reveal this secret. Erner Senesvan was curious. Yes, what is it? Byron said, that child is not my biological child, she is just a hunting dog that I have put my heart into raising. Are you planning to ruin your son's life with such a mediocre person? He was incredulous. Yes. He said contemptuously, please think carefully, Baron Senesvan, do not dare to covet my things, everything is for you. Erner Senesvan worried, what do you mean? Is your daughter adopted? And just a hunting dog, then? Byron gave the stack of paper to him, this is a gift for you. Erner Senesvan hesitated, thank you, Lord Byron, so much information about the Empire, with this, the royal family will definitely trust me. In his heart he despised, idiot, not astute at all. Just keep that greedy nature and you can only crawl under other people's feet. If he listened to the lady then he would have seized power long ago, now he can only hold on with the money from the previous generation, but it seems to be reaching its limit. It won't last long. Erner Senesvan was startled. Yes, what did you just say? Byron replied, nothing, just keep looking. Meanwhile Gerald kept asking, do you know how to embroider? How much do you know about piano? Do you know how to tie a tie for your husband? How is your driving skill? If we get married, remember to change that rustic dress. He was full of arrogance. My family is about to be promoted to the title of Duke, so buy a dress that is worthy, the Duchess must maintain her dignity. Elia was tired of the words Gerald said. She had to escape and held her head thinking, he is really crazy. I am here as a guest, so if I anger him then Byron might go crazy. But the scary thing is not here. I must not get sick and have a confused mind, I must try to endure. Just when Elia was not paying attention Gerald called out, ah, you are here. She startled and pulled his arm. Gerald fell forward in a panic. A sound rang out. Unexpectedly Elia fell on top of him. Gerald looked at the person in front of him as if he did not understand what was going on. She was also surprised by her actions. He pushed Elia away and shouted, how dare you? Luckily Cloud managed to hold Gerald's hand in time. He shouted, what? He explained, you can't use actions to threaten the miss, I will protect her because I am her guardian. Gerald was angry, I did not ask you, how dare a lowly guardian like you insult a noble like me? Elia next to him wondered, does he not know anything about Cloud? He threatened, a person like you, I just need to call my knight and you will be done in one slash, Cloud said coldly, one slash. Hearing that Gerald felt a chill down his spine. He said, go on, he trembled, one slash, is just one hit. Gerald hurriedly ran away, just wait there. Both of them were surprised by his actions. Cloud asked, are you hurt anywhere, miss? Elia hesitated to reply, She noticed Cloud, so much sweat. Could it be that he ran here because of me? She asked in disbelief, because of me. He spoke, the engagement is just a lie. Elia asked, what, how do you know? Cloud replied, the master won't let the miss go. She thought, it sounds a bit uncomfortable but it is really convincing. Both of them stayed in their positions and were silent for a long time. The sunlight shone into the garden. Byron by the window witnessed everything. He thought, what is this? Just like that and passed by. In another place, Winfried felt like someone was constantly calling him. He questioned, Elia, the other party said, I am sorry, I can't see you again. Winfried tried to chase the voice, what are you talking about, how can that be, the master is also trying very hard. I am tracking your traces and searching for information, your mother's friend, Headmistress Candace is also relearning magic. The other party spoke, the problem is not there, he worried, then what is the problem? Elia replied, I am engaged to someone else. Hearing this, Winfried woke up with a start. He thought about the dream he just had. Then he sat up with a worried face. Outside the door Binka entered, are you awake, Prince? Winfried spoke, yes, did I sleep late yesterday, she asked, are you having problems, you came home very late. He said, no, just a nightmare. Binka suggested, if you are troubled by anything, just say it, I will listen. Winfried declined, no, this is not worth saying. But Binka is really kind, you care about me a lot, right? You must be tired, Binka replied, tired, it is my honor to serve you. This may be a bit arrogant. But in fact, I have always seen you as my younger brother. Winfried listened attentively to Binka. Younger brother, she smiled, yes, because I have a younger brother who is the same age as you. He was surprised, you have a younger brother, Binka put the wash basin down, yes, in fact, we just met not long ago. My mother passed away from illness. But before leaving, my mother left a message like a will. She confided, in fact, my family divorced when I was very young. Mother said that I should not live alone anymore, but go find a fated man and go to the capital. So according to my mother's will, I ventured to the capital alone. Now I have been reunited with my younger brother and we have also become closer. Binka's eyes were cold, I feel very happy to take care of my younger brother, it is as if the years of separation did not exist. now we are closer to each other. The look on Winfred's face looked like he was being hypnotized. So Prince, suddenly there was a call, Prince. The man entered, Winfred spoke, Chief Aide. Binka was angry because someone broke her plan. He asked, Binka, clearly I assigned the morning service of the prince to another maid, right? She replied, is that so? I have not received the notice yet, I am sorry, then I will go now. He witnessed all the awkwardness. Winfred questioned, why are you so cold? The chief aide instructed, it is best if you do not meet people of the opposite sex often because the prince is about to come of age. If there are any silly rumors, it won't be good. He was silent. Binka left the room and closed the door. Right at that moment Winfred threw a pillow at his head. He asked, she is still listening, why did you say that? He was indignant. In the royal family it seems that only the prince looks at the faces of the maids, but you must never show that face like that. The chief aide worried, because rumors often appear from small details, if by chance, Winfred replied, just explain it, right, he said, it will be too late by then. He was confused, what do you mean by late? Originally I am not the type to like anyone. Suddenly Winfred thought of the image of Elia. And he choked. The chief aide smiled, I know, you already have someone in your heart. Winfred blushed shyly, no, there is not. He laughed, yes, you can say whatever you want, if such a person appears, then are you going to let her see those rumors and misunderstand? He was silent. Thinking about the words the chief aide had just said. Winfred decided, I know, I will be careful. He happily handed over the stack of paper, yes, this is your schedule for today. Looking at it he blurted out, why is there so much? He smiled, Winfred then remembered abandoning his work to go to the Duke's house. He spoke, I will try my best, he replied, yes, please go take a bath and change your clothes. Winfred was determined, for now I must focus on my work. Anyway, I can't help with anything now, I will definitely take action later, I miss Elia so much. At the Duke's house, Ophelia was instructing Candace. She passed on all the knowledge she had. In the training place, soldiers were walking busily. Roderick was talking to everyone. His face shone with seriousness. Evening fell. Elia swung each slash of the sword down. Her whole body was soaked in sweat. Right at this moment Gerald appeared right behind her, making her shudder. Elia immediately escaped. Right at this moment a cup of water was handed out in front of her. Cloud was there since when? She took the cup he offered. Cloud quietly watched her drink. Suddenly he smiled gently. Night had fallen. Half a year later, at the Duke's residence a joyful voice rang out, the child was born safely. Roderick hurriedly opened the door and rushed in. The midwife handed the baby to him, Duke, here. Looking at the crying baby, she exclaimed, the young master is really handsome. Roderick was silent looking at the baby. He was flustered, wife, you have worked hard, worked hard. The beautiful baby is like you, Ophelia smiled, is not it more like you? Have you thought of a name? Suddenly, Candace rushed in, Ophelia, Duke, what is wrong? It is not the due date yet. She instructed, Candace, just focus on your research, do not worry about me. She was excited, what are you talking about? Is that my second nephew? Why is he so handsome? Now that I have seen his face, I can rest assured and leave. Ophelia was surprised. Candace explained, I seem to be able to overcome the wall I built myself. Everyone, please wait a little longer. She looked at everyone. And affirmed, Elia, your first daughter will be back with you soon. The clear blue sky shone brightly highlighting the magnificent and splendid castle. Pels and Winfred were talking when they suddenly heard a voice from outside, Your Majesty. The servant opened the door holding a scroll and said softly, there is new news, the Vishafen's young master was born safely. Pels happily exclaimed, is that so? After saying that he walked towards the door, with a very excited tone, there are many good things happening this summer, it seems that the season of luck has arrived, do not you think so, son? Pels turned his head, with a kind face smiled and encouraged, so seize this opportunity and quickly return, I believe in you. Winfred's eyes showed gentleness, respectfully replied, yes, do not worry, father, I will do well and return, I am going to the delegation of the Inselkopf Empire. The trees were stretching out in the wind, each leaf falling lightly in the air. The castle was covered by warm sunlight, high above birds were flying and singing as if welcoming the new day. Elia was walking along the corridor while annoyed, why does that Gerald keep following me? I have been running away all day, she sighed wearily and helplessly. Suddenly Elia heard someone speaking from the room next door, that, recently. She curiously approached the ajar door to hear more clearly, Duke Batches has caused some trouble. Elia's face darkened as she listened to the story that was continuing, it seems he touched the relief money, but the Emperor keenly grasped that loophole. Peeking through the crack in the door, she saw in the room Erner Senesvan was talking in a low voice with Byron, so he will probably have to stay in the territory for a while. He heard that and replied, really? Elia secretly wondered in her heart, Duke Batches, who is he? The situation in foreign countries is too complicated, I can't understand. Inside Byron was still speaking evenly, the Baron's current situation is really difficult. Elia quietly followed the movement in the room. She heard Erner Senesvan's voice whisper, yes, those who used to follow the Duke are much more silent. Surely the Emperor is taking this opportunity. Unfortunately Elia's hand leaned on the door. It unintentionally created a loud noise. Byron, hearing it, glanced warily. He looked towards the door and discovered it was not closed. Elia tensely hid behind the wall, suddenly heard Byron order, go close the door. Erner Senesvan obeyed. Yes, it is a bit chilly, and what I wanted to say earlier. Elia took the opportunity to hurriedly ran away before being discovered. Inside Byron was still continuing to speculate. It seems that the Emperor will appoint his son as the Crown Prince. Erner Senesvan, as he walked towards the door, tried to soothe him. A person with low blood only got the throne by luck. Just enjoy a few more years, and that position will return to the Duke, the legitimate heir. Is there no way for us to prevent that? Byron quietly weighed in his head. If this Baron also realizes, then it seems things have progressed to the point where it can't be stopped. After thinking, he raised his glass of beer and asked casually, soon it will be the Crown Prince appointment ceremony of the Inselkopf Empire, right? Erner Senesvan, hearing that, suddenly turned around and shouted loudly, that can't be. In the upcoming event of the summer, that prince will come here with a delegation, so we can't let it go. Byron was drinking beer and stopped hearing that. He seized the key point of the story, that kid will come here. Erner Senesvan appeared knowledgeable. Yes, this year is his coming of age. Suddenly it was like he suddenly thought of something. After considering, Erner Senesvan suggested, that is right, if we assassinate the Crown Prince. While pouring beer, Byron objected, no, there are too many risk factors. Erner Senesvan did not give up. He continued to plead, do not, let us just try once. Who knows what will happen, and if it fails, it will be enough to cause chaos. Byron angrily threw the glass of beer hard on the table, each drop of beer under the great impact splashed everywhere. His face flashed a cold and dangerous look, too noisy. The surrounding atmosphere seemed to get colder by several degrees. Erner Senesvan stood frozen and could not move. He became flustered, stammering to explain, that, but what I mean. Byron cursed secretly in his heart, idiot. On the surface he said something different, you should try to change your direction of thinking. Erner Senesvan did not quite understand. Yes, change direction. Byron nodded to confirm. Senesvan. He continued to analyze, each word hitting the center of his heart. Are you really willing to be a servant for a duke who has no hope left? If it is like that, then the Emperor will dominate you. Everyone has ambition, so at least you must aim for something. When will you reach the top? You can also seize that position. That concluding sentence of Byron's made Erner Senesvan stunned for a few seconds. He trembled and tried his best to admit, in fact, I want to become Emperor Senesvan. Byron, as if he had achieved his goal, his voice had a satisfied tone, I am only suggesting it to you, but with my current benefits, I can't help even if I want to. Hearing that, Erner Senesvan knelt down and humbled himself, pleading, anything, I will do everything, just say what you need. Holding the glass of beer in his hand, Byron pondered. The light from the door framed his handsome face with a hint of insidiousness. Finally Byron spoke the final words, then I want to request this, deal with your son first. He heard that and could not hide the stunned expression on his face that was dripping with tears. Scene change. Gerald could not believe what he just heard. He frowned and blurted out, what? Erner Senesvan hurriedly persuaded, that is the distinguished guest of your father, so please listen a bit. He really hates you approaching his daughter. Gerald immediately retorted. But Dad said we are going to get engaged. Erner Senesvan helplessly tried to find a way to refute, but he is not interested in that. Gerald unwillingly angrily shouted, so Dad listened and did not do anything. Dad, why are you like this? Erner Senesvan was so confused that he choked. You really, say anything. Gerald did not want to continue the conversation anymore. He coldly snorted, then turned around and walked away. You take care of yourself. I really like her, so I will marry her. He panicked and hurriedly chased after. While running he tried to plead, Gerald, please, Dad will find a more beautiful girl for you, but Gerald did not hear a word. He was extremely determined with his choice. What do you know, Dad, I already said, I only like her. Although he tried to persuade, but could not change him, Erner Senesvan frowned tightly, showing clear tension. Anyway, that girl is not a real daughter. If you get married, then only you will suffer. Gerald, hearing that, suddenly stopped, making him hit his face on his back with a thud. Gerald gently turned around to look at Erner Senesvan. He said seriously, with his eyes gradually falling down, so behind that arrogant appearance she has a lowly identity. Erner Senesvan also hesitantly raised his hand to explain, that, I do not know about this. It seems that is a secret that can't be revealed. Laughing bitterly, Gerald seemed to be trying to suppress the mockery inside. After that he agreed to compromise. Alright, Dad should go to that guest and ask clearly. Erner Senesvan was very surprised by this sudden change. Raising his index finger, Gerald declared imposingly, one day. He decisively made a condition, with very firm and determined eyes, must spend a day with me, before that, then I will still keep the old decision, Dad should pass on to him that this is an agreement. With me, not with Dad. If he wants a man to give up his heart, then he must at least cooperate, Dad is right. Erner Sanisfan had no choice but to pass on the word to Byron. Holding a cigarette in his mouth, he waited for a long time then spoke, one day, you should pass on the word that I agree to this agreement. On the other hand, in his heart Byron secretly evaluated. Reckless, more than his father. Scene change, the sky was clear, in the garden, each flower competed to bloom and show its colors, somewhere a voice was talking, so that is how it is. No one else but Gerald, while observing Elia who was practicing swordsmanship, he complacently said, sooner or later we will become a couple. Elia sighed wearily and said, Gerald was surprised by that attitude. Why are you so obedient this time? Have you finally accepted our relationship? Sheathing the sword into the sheath, Elia glanced coldly. If my father has decided, then there is no way. From now on, I just need to be by your side for a day. Right, she quietly calculated. I just need to keep my promise and quickly resolve it. Suddenly, Gerald raised a finger towards her. No, not today. Then he gently placed a kiss on Elia's forehead and said softly, a rare opportunity like this deserves careful preparation. Let us go to the festival. Hearing that, she exclaimed in surprise. What? As if anticipating Elia's shock, Gerald probed, you have never been to places like that, have you? Then he smiled brightly and explained. On the occasion of the royal event, the festival will be held in the capital. It seems to be a crown prince's inauguration or something. I do not really care, but it seems that royalty from every empire will attend. Elia latched onto the key point. She was secretly bewildered. Royalty. Gerald continued the story. It is the empire's honor, so this festival will be organized incredibly grandly, hanging flags, sweeping, scrubbing, every nook and cranny will be bustling. Elia seemed to be lost in her own thoughts, from morning till night. The image of Winfred appeared in her head, but she could not quite remember what his face looked like. Her eyes widened with pensive expression. She worried and wondered, would he have changed a lot? Suddenly, a voice broke through, pulling Elia back to the present. Blondie. She blankly looked ahead, her eyes still holding the lingering traces of thought. Seeing Gerald staring at her intently, to avoid suspicion, Elia quickly spoke up. Oh, sorry, I was thinking about some things. Okay, so let us go to the festival, I won't forget. He frowned, showing displeasure, inwardly annoyed. What arrogance. But then Gerald had to let it go. Oh well, this will be the last time. Scene change, at the magnificent castle, bustling voices echoed, the final schedule is measuring, the alteration of formal dress also done. The chief steward, holding the list, continued to report, now just need to check the schedule again to complete, tomorrow you can go to the Duke's residence to rest. Winfred heard it and happily cheered, really, all right. He gently turned his head, his face looked extremely handsome with gentle eyes making many people infatuated. I will meet Noah before I go. Looking forward to it. What gift should I give? Winfred raised both hands and smiled cheerfully. While excited, he heard Binka asked, what about dangling decorations? She was using a tape measure to measure Winfred's waist. Children like shiny things. A simple gemstone necklace is enough. It is easy to replace when needed. He thought it sounded reasonable. Winfred turned around and discussed, Chief Steward, what do you think? You gave me advice on the last gift too. The chief steward considered the items on the list again. Let us see. You have already given many gifts, so the artistic decoration that Binka mentioned would be good. Thinking of the exquisitely carved necklace, the pendant was a crescent moon embracing a star in the center. He agreed, there is not much time left, so you can adjust it from the available items. Just having a gemstone that you personally choose will be enough to show your heart. Binka's face showed satisfaction that her suggestion was accepted, while Winfred quietly observed ahead. Then he spoke, thank you, Chief Steward. Winfred also praised, originally her idea was very good, Binka. Binka heard that and gently replied, Crown Prince, then I will contact the artisan. Winfred paused for a few seconds and hesitated, he wondered to himself, how strange. Just a few days ago, the chief steward still felt uncomfortable with Binka, but now, even if Binka served him, he would not mind. And even if her words were somewhat insensitive, he did not remind her. Can a person's attitude change so completely? Lost in thought, Binka's voice pulled Winfred back to reality, Crown Prince. After considering it, he agreed, please contact them for me. She quickly obeyed, yes, then I will go contact them. Is the measurement done? While Binka was enthusiastic, let me clean up, Winfred continued his previous train of thought, not only the chief steward, but everyone takes this situation for granted. Then he was confused again, or am I being too sensitive? In Winfred's head echoed Pelz's words, my brother is a sensitive and emotional person. He can find fault with me with just a small word or action. His anger is like a storm and full of malice, that always causes innocent servants to be falsely accused and shed blood. The image of him sitting and talking with him like a movie reenacted in memory. Even if I try to stop it, it won't do any good. The figure of his brother appeared in his mind. Pels looked deeply into Winfred's eyes and continued to instruct, so you must remember that, those in front of him must suffer. If one day he threatens your life, you do not need to feel guilty. It started to snow. The image of the two sitting and confiding in each other on the chair was warm in the cold winter. Winfred kept thinking about Pels's words. The fact that father, who always puts family above everything, said those words, surprised me greatly. That means father was extremely disappointed in uncle. And in father's heart also carries a great wound. Remembering the moment he emotionally welled up with tears hugging Elia, who was also sobbing, he secretly made a decision in his heart. I must become an outstanding and upright crown prince. I must not become someone like uncle, to become a son that makes father proud. To be able to stand proudly in front of Master and Elia, I will not lose kindness and gentleness, and should not hastily reject. Winfred also did not forget to think of the smiling faces of Binka and the servants. At this moment, Binka smiled and said, Crown Prince, I have finished cleaning up everything. Winfred immediately stopped and stood up abruptly. He coldly replied, showing that he knew, thank you, you can leave now. She was so confused by Winfred's attitude that she could not say anything more. After a few seconds, Binka hesitated and softly asked, did I do something wrong? Faced with Winfred's coldness, she worriedly begged, please tell me, otherwise our relationship will gradually become more distant. I am very afraid that the crown prince will hate me. If the things just now were not just my feelings. Saying this, Binka's face drooped with sadness. Winfred quietly stood and looked at himself in the mirror. Space seemed to stop at this moment. Then he spoke, breaking the terrifying silence, Binka, you did not do anything wrong. Winfred turned around and smiled brightly to comfort. It is just that the chief steward told me to be careful with rumors. It seems I did not keep an appropriate distance. In his head, he was trying to say, this is the first time I have encountered this. Binka also felt relieved to some extent. Oh, is that so? Now you are the crown prince after all. I only treat you as my younger brother, so I did not think much about it. I am sorry. Raising his hand to brush his shoulder, Winfred wondered inwardly, was not that a casual word, but he still explained further to avoid misunderstanding, no, I am the same way. I should have explained the reason to you earlier. He asked further for reassurance. Anyway, the misunderstanding is resolved, right? Binka politely replied, yes, then I will be more careful in the future. After speaking, Binka went towards the door, not forgetting to instruct, please rest. Winfred raised his hand to wave goodbye. He lowered his hand, but his face still had a pensive expression. Binka stood outside the door, raised her hand to her mouth and pondered, then quietly considered, it should be all right, right. Scene change, Candace sat in front of the table, her serious eyes threatening, quickly give me the information. Hurry up, give me the information. Candace slapped the table repeatedly urging the shopkeeper. The noise attracted the attention of the surrounding customers, one person curious, who was that girl? The boy sitting next to him seemed used to this, 2 days ago. She suddenly appeared, and demanded information about illegal entry. The person who was observing Candace shouting earlier heard that and exclaimed in surprise, what, why does not anyone stop her? The boy next to him explained, they did, Bunny already stopped her. The boy kept wondering, is not Bunny the captain, then why is that girl still making a fuss like that? Suddenly, Bunny kicked open the door and yelled towards Candace who was sitting, sister, I got the information. At this time the boy pointed to the back and replied. She was beaten to a pulp so she ended up like that. The other person could not believe it and asked again, is that girl with glasses that strong, crazy? And Candace turned her face towards Bunny who just arrived, is there any useful information? He acted mysterious and whispered into Candace's ear, recently there is a sailor who likes to throw money everywhere, heard that he was able to enjoy such a happy life thanks to carrying a wealthy guest. It seems that that guest also has a problem with his other arm. A total of 5 people, that guest, his wife, and 2 daughters. After telling the story, Bunny concluded, maybe they are just nobles running away in the night. Candace sat and pondered, many predictions arose in her head, if it is the Byron group. Besides that bodyguard, who are the others, just servants, or just a woman and daughter who happened to meet? But she suspected, but if I think about his obsession and Ophelia. After thinking, Candace frowned and snorted lightly. She excitedly put her arm around Bunny's shoulder and pulled his head down, really, I have to go find that sailor directly. Bunny, you did a great job, let us go. Bunny broke free from Candace's claws. He took a breath, his face flushed with sweat, embarrassed. Yes, go. Candace excitedly urged, let us go. Bunny chased after behind shouting, wait for me, sister. The two boys who were gossiping earlier now had a blank face and complained, now who was going to worry about announcing in the alley? The sun rose high, emitting harsh rays of light, surrounded by floating clouds. The streets are bustling with people passing by and trading. People are competing to go shopping, some are carrying food to serve customers. Crowds gather to line up, cheering and discussing. They were curiously observing Winfred's group leisurely riding horses towards them. His outfit is so sparkly, it emits a dazzling light attracting everyone's attention. Winfred's handsome face is extremely attractive to the surrounding crowd. He friendly raised his hand to greet everyone. Somewhere there was a murmur, "Is that the crown prince, so handsome?" The girls standing and watching were sighing, "SHHH, be careful he hears you," the other girl regretted, but Candace quietly stood in the crowd watching the group passing by. Bunny curious, "Do you two know each other? You even intentionally followed the parade." Candace bluntly refused, "No, I just wanted to see a little bit." In her stomach she thought, as expected. Separating was the right idea. In her head suddenly appeared the image of Winfred sitting next to the cradle. Would she go to the Inselkopf Empire first? "Why did not you say it sooner? If I knew beforehand, I would have let you go with the delegation," Candace patiently explained. "Crown Prince, it has been half a year since we met. And you have forgotten, I am not a citizen of this empire." He suddenly realized, that is right. Candace leisurely continued the previous story. "We do not know who Byron's spies are. If we do that it will be very noticeable, easy to be in danger." Ophelia suddenly appeared. "What about your academy? You have been here longer than vacation days." Candace jokingly teased, "Now there is a lot of work to do when I go back, or should I just resign?" Ophelia opened her mouth in surprise. "What?" Candace glibly laughed. "Just kidding, I already contacted them that I have personal research. You are my friend, this little bit of time is nothing." Ophelia kept worrying, "Then you should follow me." After saying that, she suddenly pulled Candace forward, causing her to be surprised because she did not have time to prepare. Arriving, Ophelia rummaged through each shelf in the bookshelf. She panicked, "It is clearly here." Knowing Candace was not being honest, Ophelia was serious. "You do not have to lie for my sake. I will show you something really worth researching." She heard that and startled. "What, you still have something else hidden?" Ophelia held out a stack of papers instead of an answer. "I did not say it because it was not finished yet," making Candace's eyes round with curiosity. "A thick book with handwriting all over the paper, that is the time reversal magic." Candace took each page and examined it carefully. "This is," Ophelia was sad, "after losing mana, I wrote it little by little based on theory. But since Noah came, I have not touched it anymore. You can take it." The hand holding the paper of Candace gradually trembled. She could not believe this decision. "How could I receive it, Ophelia? I know clearly with what intention you researched this magic. If you keep it for a few more years, you will definitely succeed." Ophelia gently grabbed Candace's hand, causing her to be stunned, her eyes confused and bewildered. With sincerity and trust, Ophelia looked deeply into Candace's eyes and expressed, "But now I have a friend like a miracle, that is even better than magic. Please, help me complete it." Candace blankly fell into contemplation. This is the path I chose, carrying that precious magic. Returning to reality, she smiled and made a decision. "I will definitely bring the result back." After thinking, Candace turned and took a step. "Let us go." Bunny quickly followed behind. "Yes." When he and she left, the crowd continued to watch the parade. A magnificent carriage passed by. Inside the car were Elia and Gerald sitting opposite each other. Beautiful Elia looked around at the scenery, while Gerald frowned looking impatient. "Really, why do we have to take a detour?" He suddenly changed the subject. But I am sure the tea shop that was booked is a good place. Do not worry, today I will escort you well." Elia did not look enthusiastic at all. She acted indifferently. "Okay, thank you." Gerald reluctantly but also tried to smile brightly at her. In his head he was secretly annoyed. Today is the end for her. I will let her know how to serve a husband properly. With this, Gerald quietly reached into his clothes. Elia secretly observed him. She also noticed something. His plan is too obvious. Should I just turn a blind eye? But Elia also thought again. Now if I do not react first then. Suddenly the figure of Winfred riding past accidentally caught her eye. She hurriedly sat up and put her hand on the windowpane to see more clearly. In the distance, the parade was going through the crowd, led by a handsome boy riding a white horse. Elia guessed. That person, could it be? Is it Winfred? She widened her eyes trying to look with anticipation and anxiety.